lost track of it. I to 3,000. It went very quickly. And if you can figure out how to information into it, do it, because I lost it. I know. And had to do all of that. Thinking that I had lost it and that I didn't really
I've just got to coordinate. I've just got to talk to myself. Look, my daughters are probably going to go. My daughters went down to 5 years ago. My son was 12.
The School Board of Duval County School District is now convened in its regular monthly meeting. To everyone present and to our television viewers, I wish to extend a warm welcome to this meeting of the Duval County School Board. The vision statement of the Duval County School Board states, every student is inspired and prepared for success in college or career and life. The mission statement of the Duval County School Board is to provide educational excellence in every school and every classroom for every student every day. The Duval County School Board is here tonight to listen to reports from district staff and to set policy for the district that will improve student achievement. We will also address budgets, contracts, personnel appointments, and other business items that require a vote of the board. The management and day-to-day operations of the district are the role of the board to make managerial or operational decisions. The board has policies and procedures in place to assist the superintendent in resolving management and operational issues. If items appear to move quickly tonight, it's because the board meets an agenda committee meeting prior to the board meeting for an in-depth review of all agenda items. The agenda committee meeting for the December 6, 2022 school board meeting will be held on November 15, 2022 at 9 a.m. and the public is invited to attend. As a show of courtesy and respect to each other, we ask that all mobile phones be turned off and that no flash photography be used during the meeting. For those wishing to address the board during our public comments portion of the board meeting, please note that we will accept speaker cards until 6:20 p.m. According to the CDC's website, Duval County's COVID-19 community level is currently designated as low. CDC currently recommends indoor mask wearing for people with symptoms, positive tests, or exposure to someone with COVID-19. We want to thank you for taking time to join us this evening and for your interest in the operation of the Duval County School District. I'll invite board members in the audience to stand for a moment of silence and remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance. Thank you. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. At this time, we'll have our school presentation from District 5, Cedar Hills Elementary. And we have Principal Marva McKinney is here. We'll give her a round of applause as she comes forward.
Good evening. Good evening, everyone. I'd like to extend greetings first to our superintendent, Dr. Diane Green, chairman of the board, Mr. Darrell Willie, and our vice chair, Dr. Kelly Coker. And greetings to all of our other members, and special thanks to my board member, Mr. Warren Jones. And I felt very honored when I was asked to present today. Cedar Hills Elementary is a diamond in the rough, and it is located on the west side of Jacksonville. And this small video that you're going to see is just a small part of why I'm so proud of Cedar Hills. Overall, I am very motivated every day and excited because of the engagement and the academic progress that we've been able to make at Cedar Hills and the family-oriented atmosphere. So I hope that you can get just a snippet of what we're all about over at Cedar Hills, and we encourage you to come over and visit us at any time because we really are doing great things over there. So without any further ado, I'd like to go ahead and turn it over so that you all can see the presentation.
Hello, my name is Marva McKinney. I am the proud principal of Cedar Hills Elementary School. This past summer, Dr. Diana Green challenged us to discover our why. Upon doing this, my flame for what I do every day was reignited. Now, I continue to challenge others to remember why we show up for every student every day.
My name is Jaquan Holloway, and what I like about Cedar Hills is that it's great teachers, it's great homework you learn, and you can get to better grades, and I love the teachers here, and I love the principal.
What I like about Cedar Hills is the lunch and the teachers and all the friends I can make, and I thank Miss McKinney for being our principal. So yeah. There comes a time when we hear a certain call, when the world must come together as one. There are people dying, and it's time to lend a hand to life, the greatest gift of all. We can go on pretending day by day that someone, somewhere will soon make a change. We are all a part of God's great big family, and the truth in our love's all we need. We are the world. We are the children. We are the ones who make a brighter day. So let's start giving. There's our choice we're making. We're saving our own lives. It's true, we make a better day.
I just wanted to say great things about Cedar Hills. I have been here for a long time. We are like family. The leadership really helps everyone. And as a whole, we give a great team effort because our leadership is amazing and helps us with things that we need.
Hello, my name is Nancy Grant. I'm a fifth grade teacher here at Cedar Hills, the nest where the Eagles are the best. Cedar Hills is an excellent school to work at. We work as a team, we look out for everyone, and we just love our students. Go Eagles!
We are the children. We are the ones who make a brighter day. So let's start giving.
Thank you, and we hope that you can come visit us sometime in the near future. Have a great evening.
Ms. McKinney, stay right there really quick. We can't let you get away that fast after all that great goodness that you showed us in the video. I'm going to actually pitch it over to Board Member Jones. I'm sure he has a few words.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Ms. McKinney has been principal about 16 years now, and this is the first time she's presented to the board. So I thought that was very unusual. And two, I just want to read a short message I received from a friend named Susan Cantrell. She said, "Good morning. I just wanted to take a minute and let you know what a gem you have in the principal of Cedar Hills Elementary School, Ms. Marva McKinney. My great-nephew, Aston, who lives with my mother, started school there in September. He is really struggling, and Mrs. McKinney is going above and beyond to help us. To see someone take the time like she is with Aston is amazing." And that's the sum of what she does. It's a community school, but we have a great leader, and she does an outstanding job, and those students really love the school, and they love their principal. And I just want to thank you for all you do.
Well, thank
and I
you.
asked her how much you paid her to send me this message, and she said, "No, I didn't pay."
That's
But-
so refreshing to know. We're just moving all the time, and it's because I know Ashton very well.
I know you
his
do.
family very well. So thank you for
Well,
sharing that. I
and-
really appreciate it.
And thank you for your leadership.
Yes, and thank you for having me.
Awesome. And these are the times where oftentimes we can never recognize our leadership in our schools and what you all are doing every single day. So this is always one of my favorite portions of our board meeting, getting to hear from the folks who are doing the work on the ground. So thank you, Principal McKinney. Thank you to all your staff at Cedar Hills. Can we give one more round of applause for this amazing principal, amazing school?
Thank you very much. And I just want to say that, and thank you everyone for that round of applause. I just want to thank Board Member Warren Jones, because you're so instrumental and you always show up for us, always, and we appreciate it. So thank you, and have a nice evening, everyone.
Thank you, thank you. Next, we'll move on to our presentations for this evening, and we have Miss Vicki Gutierrez, and she will read those for us.
Acts of kindness go a long way, and this evening we begin with one that's resulted in dozens of Team Duval students being gifted with timeless keepsakes. Since 2016, Rhodes Graduation Services, which is a family-owned and operated business, has taken it upon themselves to leave a mark with the 5,000 Role Models of Excellence project. That mark has been in donating keepsake rings to certain students at the end of the year award ceremony. These rings have been given to 5,000 Role Models high school site presidents free of charge to commemorate their hard work and dedication. And with each ring retailing for roughly $300, the value of this generous gift has totaled over $30,000 over the past few years. When it's all said and done, we know this act of kindness is truly priceless. So here to help honor Rhodes Graduation Services are a couple of 5,000 Role Model students, each proudly wearing their own rings for display. And here to present the business with a plaque of appreciation are Family and Community Engagement Executive Director Brandon Mack, Supervisor Ernest Allman, and Events Coordinator Willie Hall. And finally, here this evening from Rhodes, we have Austin Rhodes and North Florida Territory Manager Al DeJesus. Please join us in showing appreciation to our valued partner, Rhodes Graduation Services. "20 minutes a day paves the way." It's the slogan for Read Jacks, the subject of our next recognition. Research has shown that just 20 minutes of reading or being read to every day can have lifelong benefits. And Read Jacks is a community effort to improve third grade reading scores of students in Duval County. The Jacksonville Public Education Fund and Kids Hope Alliance are taking the lead on addressing this problem. However, they're not doing so alone. We now invite Jacksonville Public Education Fund President Rachel Tutwiler Fortune and Kids Hope Alliance Chief Administrative Officer Sarah Lynn Grass to share more about Read Jacks and to help us recognize schools being directly impacted by this initiative.
Thank you, Vicki, and good evening, honorable school board members. It is a pleasure to be with you all this evening to talk about one of the most important issues facing our community, and that is the proficiency of our students in the area of literacy. I just want to start by thanking Dr. Green, who has been a tremendous partner along with district staff as we've really worked to craft a campaign that partners our community with our schools and helping to tackle something that's been a long-standing issue. I'm sure that Dr. Green has shared with the board, and we've certainly spoken about it as well, as we celebrate the progress of our schools, including, Duval County really performing very well as compared to others across the nation on the National Assessment of Educational Progress. We are also reminded, particularly in this COVID era, that there is a lot of work to do. And so the community is very proud to be partnering with the schools on this important effort. We just have a couple of slides that we wanted to display this evening to tell you a little bit about Read Jacks. This campaign, JPEF is very proud to be co-partnering and facilitating alongside Kids Hope Alliance. You can go to the next slide. And it really sort of centers the community's role in two ways. One is helping to raise awareness, and that is to make sure that there is robust community engagement and partnership around this issue. And as we talk about, in particular, trying to improve literacy by third grade, we know that all the brain science says that this starts at birth. And so part of this effort is really making sure that we're having a conversation, early learning, K to 12, but really K to 3 schools, as well as the broader community at large. And so JPEF is happy to be playing the role of really trying to build awareness in the broader community. And Kids Hope Alliance, which Sherilyn will speak to momentarily, is helping to leverage its role in the community to help facilitate and support comprehensive data-driven solutions and services. Next slide. Just to speak a little bit about sort of the awareness and the convening role in particular, all of those efforts are really aimed at helping to create what we like to call a culture of reading in Duval County. I appreciate Vicki elevating the tagline for the campaign, 20 minutes a day paves the way. That's a very easy and actionable thing that no matter if you're the business partner, the nonprofit partner in the community, or the parent, everyone can do that. And so as we think about our role as convening the campaign, we want to see the community be actively engaged in these efforts. In addition, as we approach the campaign and sort of this collective work, it's important for us all to rally behind shared goals. And so that's a part of the infrastructure of the campaign we're building. There's a steering committee, there are subcommittees that have really worked together to really define what is our common agenda. And as we determine those measurable outcomes that we're seeking, we're going to be tracking progress against those goals. Additionally, I mentioned before, business partners, social sector partners, and others. This is a sort of cross-sector effort where we want to see everyone in the community play a meaningful role. And as much as we value the generous support and leadership that Kids Hope Alliance is providing, as well as the district in these efforts, we want to see everyone who is able, whether it be time, talent, or treasure, that they can contribute to these efforts, really help to contribute to the solutions we're advancing. Next slide. And lastly, just to give you a little bit of a snapshot, we just sort of publicly launched as a sort of soft launch of the campaign earlier this year, Read Jags at a luncheon at the Jaguar Stadium. But there is so much to come. You can look forward to, in particular, in these 8 school communities that'll be held up this evening, a lot of information and broad community awareness, lots of collateral related to the campaign, because we believe that really creating that strong campaign presence is what's going to create the momentum and the excitement for folks to really get involved in these efforts. So I'll turn it over to Sarah Lynn to share a little bit about systems building.
Thanks, Rachel, and I'll be brief. First, I want to say I went to Cedar Hills Elementary, so go Eagles. Great job. But we are just at Kids Hope Alliance in the city of Jacksonville, really excited to be partnering with JPEF and the district. The Early Learning Coalition and the libraries are all part of this as well. You can go to our next slide, too, for this one. But essentially in systems building, what we're trying to do is bring together systems. So as you know, KHA funds about 100 after-school programs and over 100 summer programs. So we're really trying to make sure that with the district's guidance, we implement some more targeted literacy practices within those programs we're already funding. And on top of that, we've committed about $5 million that we'll put out later on next year that's just for literacy efforts and supplemental education programs that are focused on literacy in birth through 3rd grade. I just wanted to say, really, to wrap it up, that, I've done a lot of statewide work, and not all counties have the same great relationship that this county does with the city and the school district. And we just really want to thank Dr. Green and Dana and everyone for partnering with us, because I think together we're just doing so much more for the children and really helping to improve the literacy overall. So thank you.
We now wish to recognize those schools participating in this initiative, and for those principals who are here this evening, as you hear your name, you can come to the front. And we will begin with a group of schools in Arlington. The first is Arlington Elementary School. I'm not sure if the principal was able to make it, but we want to acknowledge they are part of this initiative. Congratulations to Arlington Elementary. And for our next school, also in the Arlington community, we have Arlington Heights Elementary. And this evening, representing the school is Principal Catrice Scott. And then wrapping up those schools in the Arlington area is Woodland Acres Elementary. I do not believe Woodland Acres is here this morning, but we do acknowledge them participating in Woodlands or in this program. Congratulations. We have a few schools on the north side, the first being Northwestern Legends Elementary School. And standing in, it looks like for the principal, we have Board Chair Darrell Willey. Congratulations. And another school from the north side, Rufus Payne Elementary. And standing in for the principal as well is Board Chair Darrell Willey. I'm sorry, Board Member Warren Jones. My apologies. Congratulations. And from Highlands Elementary, we have Principal Natalia Graham here to represent the school, as well as staff. Congratulations. And finally, from the west side, we have Pinedale Elementary with Principal Kenya Griffin. And last but not least, we recognize Reynolds Lane Elementary School with Principal Kimberly Jennings. Congratulations. They say it takes a special person to be an educator, especially one that wins the hearts of their students. Our next recognition honors one such teacher, a social studies teacher we're told all parents want their children to have. Tonight we celebrate Genesee Griffin, a U.S. history teacher at William Raines High School, for earning the Dr. Theron Trimble Florida Social Studies Teacher of the Year for High Schools Award, an honor given by the Florida Council for Social Studies. According to her colleagues and supervisors, Ms. Griffin has an excellent rapport with her students and has a talent for connecting with them. She is continuously driven to find new and creative ways to engage her students in the classroom. For instance, she's participated in the district's African American Summer Writing Institute for the past 2 summers, providing support and guidance to high school students researching and writing lessons for our schools. Bottom line, Ms. Griffin is recognized for her inspiration and dedication to teaching high school students in Duval County. In view of this honor, she's being presented with a Superintendent's Coin of Excellence. And joining her today is Raines Principal, Mr. Vincent Hall, and Director of K-12 Social Studies, Aaron Conklin. Please help us congratulate Ms. Genesee Griffin for this outstanding accomplishment. November is Parent Engagement Month. Parent Engagement and Education Month in the state of Florida, making it the perfect time to recognize 5 parents who have not only distinguished themselves as leaders, but who are also supporting the success of our students. They're a unique group of caregivers, community members, and parents who have committed themselves to learning, growing, and supporting this initiative. To become a parent leader, this group had to complete at least 6 Parent Academy courses, demonstrate leadership, and commit to support Duval County Public Schools Parent Academy. By the way, these courses are offered live and virtually with topics that fall under student achievement, parenting and advocacy, or personal and individual growth. With this designation, these parent leaders are now advocates. They can facilitate and monitor courses, engage the community at district events, network with various groups, and much more. Joining us from the Department of Family and Community Engagement to celebrate these new parent leaders and to present them with pins are Executive Director Brandon Mack, Parent Academy Supervisor Reagan Copeland, and Parent Academy Specialist Christina Raquelme. We now recognize our newest parent leaders. They are Jill Hill, Krishna Joshi, who was not able to join us this evening, Topaz Thomas, Karen Afato, and our own Tabitha Collins. Please help us congratulate these Parent Academy leaders. And for our final presentation, we now wish to turn things over to Board Chair Darrell Willey.
And before I move into that, I do want to recognize we have the chair of the Kids Hope Alliance, Dr. Wells, is in the building. Dr. Wells, can you just wave to us a little bit? Clap it up for Dr. Wells, Marvin Wells. We appreciate you being here as well. We wanted to take a moment. It's always great to celebrate when we're here. We'll have a couple celebrations tonight, but one, we want to just recognize our superintendent. So if I can have all the board members come down really quickly. She's looking like, what is he doing? So our superintendent, if you did not know, is fantastic. In addition to that, we were at the Council of Great City Schools, which represents large urban schools from across the whole country. And she was recognized as one of the top 8 superintendents in the country. Yes, in the country. Yes. So I did a little, this is definitely worthy. Look at that. And I did a little research. And I said this I was at another meeting. There are 7,194 superintendents around the country. And to think we have a superintendent who's received this honor of being top 8. She did not win the ultimate award, but she wins my ultimate award because she has done amazing work here in this community. Our community is forever changed because of you, and I'm glad that we're able to give you your flowers while you're here. And thank you for all that you do. Dr. Diana Green, you're amazing. So let's clap it up for one more time. And in addition to that, she was the only female out of the top 8 this year. So, yes. And I'm a girl dad, so I love that. So, Dr. Green, if you'll stand in the middle, we'll take a picture with you. That'd be fantastic. One more round of applause for Dr. Green.
That concludes this evening's presentations.
We're getting our steps in tonight. We're going to move through. We have another great portion of our agenda tonight. We have comments from our district student government, and we have Elijah Melendez-Esther here. He's a senior from Mandarin High School. Where's Elijah? There. Give Elijah a round of applause. Elijah, you look ready. Floor is yours.
Good evening. I'd like to start by thanking Dr. Green and really the whole school board for having me here tonight. It's really a great honor. So, like you said, I'm a senior in Mandarin High School. I'm president of our National Honor Society. I play football, lacrosse, a couple other things. I'd like to thank Mr. Simmons. I don't know where he went, but I'd like to thank Mr. Simmons. He sponsors the organization I'm here on behalf of, JAG. So that's Jacksonville Association of Governing Students. And we meet once a month. We meet with a board member or the superintendent herself, as we did last night. And we discuss current issues. And it's really a great opportunity to have face-to-face interactions with the people who, at the end of the day, run our district. So last night, for example, we discussed funding for extracurriculars such as CIS, which is Community in Schools. CIS, what they do is incentivize less advantaged students to stay in school longer and partake in the after-school activities rather than leaving campus and being on the streets. And JAGS is truly an incredible opportunity for us as students to be able to meet and connect with students from across the district. I personally know that I have gained a new perspective on everything. I've been able to better understand not only my community, but all of my peers in Jacksonville. And if any principals are here listening or watching, I'd highly encourage you to partake in the program because all of our schools will be better for it. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Elijah. I can already tell, Elijah, you're going to be up to big things. You're a senior. I'm sure you're off to big things as your future holds. It's going to be bright. Thank you, Elijah. And always, it's great to hear from our students. And that's something we have on the agenda that we're doing regularly, is hearing from our District Student Government Association. So now we'll move on to approval of the November 1st, 2022 agenda. That the Duval County School Board approve the November 1st, 2022 agenda as submitted on October 25th, 2022 with the following changes. Superintendent's travel item added. I'll ask for a motion.
So moved.
Moved by Board Member Pearson, second by Vice Chair Coker. Any discussion? Seeing and hearing none, go ahead, call for your vote. Thank you. By your action, you have approved this item 7-0. Now moving on to the chair's report. So this is actually will be my final meeting as the board chair. So I just wanted to do a quick sort of year in review. Those who have sat in this seat before, and there are many on this stage, know just what type of role this is. It's heavy at times, and I think that it doesn't really hit you until the end. I think you start to look back and see what has transpired. So I just want to go through a few of those things. Won't be before you too long, but just wanted to kind of reflect a little bit and celebrate with this board who's up here. So, of course, Achieve 26 was something that this board, I remember sitting in this room, we've talked about it before, and really just looked at where do we center ourselves? How do we center ourselves on students achieving at the highest level and really bringing in the community? And Achieve 26 was built out of that. And we come up with some amazing strategic priorities that still live on to this day, that include literacy, which you heard read Jax today, high-performing schools, which we'll talk about schools that have continued to move, soft skills, we've launched programs around that, and then vocational opportunities, which we continue to excel, and folks are taking notice of what's happening in Jacksonville. Our guiding principles around that were highly effective teachers, fiscal transparency, high-quality partnerships, student supports, and culture and climate. These were what were guiding our steps along the way, guides and guardrails. So here are just a couple of points here. I won't read them all, but I'll highlight a few of them. The first district in the state to offer student comprehensive telehealth care in our schools. It's a big deal, especially right now, thinking about where we are in our country with all that's going on. It's really important that our students don't have to think about another thing as they enter into our schools. 30 schools designated as schools of excellence. I mean, that's something to note and something to really just let it sink in. Also, I'll get into this later too, a groundbreaking at Rutledge Pearson and Fort Caroline Middle School. Powerful times to see that the moving of the soil, to see things start to begin, and I'm excited to see where that actually ends up. We had 100% of the schools in 18-19 that received a D or F received a C or better. Also, 78% of schools showed growth compared to 18-19 school year. And last, safety and security. In today's times, we really honed in as a board to make sure that our kids were safe, our students were safe when they entered in. I always say this, I'm a dad first, and that's one thing I know. When I send my kids to school, I want them to be safe. And then I want them to be filled up with as much knowledge as possible. And I think that's how we centered ourselves as a board. This is sort of reiterating the fact we have no F schools. We've decreased many of our from 17 to 10 and from 2018, 19, and 21, 22, and there's no F schools right now, which is something to really be commended for, not just this board, but also all the staff members and the folks who work in our schools. This is the side I want to sit in. If you look at the very right, we offer a robust education for our students who are in Duval County Public Schools. You see ACE, you see CTE, IB, AP, and dual enrollment. Our students are experiencing life while they're in our schools, experiencing the rigor that they need to be prepared for college life and career. And it shows. It shows with the programs that we offer up to our students. Over almost 7,000 graduates and $152 million in scholarships that were reported. So that's something to really be thankful for, especially as a future. I have 3 kids I have to send to school, so I'm looking for some of that money to come my way eventually. So this is a good sign, good sign. We also launched Duval Ready. This is something that this board sat and said the community wants us to focus on soft skills. We're doing the academic piece, but how do we prepare that whole child to be ready to go when they leave our 4 walls of our schools? And we came up with Duval Ready, and the staff has done an amazing job implementing this, and I can't wait to see where this goes. We were just recently at a conference, and folks were asking about Duval Ready because they've heard about it. So we are once again a beacon and a light in the state and across the country because of things like this, creating programs that identify the soft skills in our students so they're better prepared, whether they're going to college, military, or a job. They'll have the professionalism. They'll be able to talk to their colleagues and their teammates, work on that team, and be critical problem solvers, because that's really what folks are looking for, whether it's an academic sort of focus in your next step or a career. They want folks who can solve problems. And one of my sort of favorite portions of this is we focused in on teachers as a board, especially in this last year. And everybody knows that effective teachers are paramount. They're key and critical to everything that happens within our schools. So talking about recruitment of teachers, we work with partnerships with JPEF and the Jaguars on 1,000 by 2025. We're looking at 1,000 men of color by 2025 that we're going to recruit. And out of that also came the group The Ones, which is a group here in Duval County Public Schools which focuses on African American males in our schools, recruitment, professional development, and retention. And it's something that was started this year, and we're really excited about where that's going to go. And a recent addition was Los Unos, which is for our Latino and Hispanic males that also will have an opportunity to come together to see what issues or problems they have to move forward together and build upon this community that they have. So very excited about that. And of course, the referendum that was recently passed, thanks to this board, thanks to this community, because as a board, that's what we do. We come together and we say, hey, we want the community to decide. And the community did decide. And they decided to make sure that they put our teachers first. So we're going to see salary enhancement and funding for the arts and athletics that will begin in the 23-24 school year. And that is because of this board being bold and saying, hey, we need to do this for our teachers right now. Many would have said, hey, what if this timing may not be right, but what is the best time to take care of our teachers? It's now. And that's what we decided as a board. So I'm very excited about that. We also adopted an audit advisory committee that met frequently, has already met frequently. Really, it goes back to that transparency, fiscal transparency that we mentioned in our strategic plan. This was lifted up, voted and enacted by former Chair Liz Anderson, and now we've just continued that this year, and they've been meeting on a regular cadence to really look into the numbers and find out more about how we are spending, and really a good understanding of representation across of our whole city and across the board, and very thrilled about this group and where this group's going to move as we go forward. I'll move into this. This is sort of the last source of pieces here is this master's facilities plan. This is an exciting time in our city. I know I've been to a couple of community meetings where we've been able to talk about what the future looks like. We mentioned Rutledge Pearson. We're going to have 28 new schools. We're going to have 11-year reduction in age, reduction in seats, which is important to make sure we can be efficient and effective as a school district. And this is something we honed in on. And we also have a master's facility plan consolidation impact review, because we understand that this is a different sort of situation than our normal process. So we wanted to put something together that allowed the community to understand, hey, when we consolidate or move or shift, we want you to be a part of the process. And this process, the consolidation impact review, is and does just that. And this is something that I really look forward to seeing the community input as we move down that path. Last couple slides here. These are pictures. Pictures are worth 1,000 words in my mind. Top left, Fort Caroline, groundbreaking. Right is Rutledge Pearson Elementary. Funny enough, we're inside during that because it rained us out, but we still had those shovels inside that cafetorium at Rutledge Pearson. And if you look below, you'll actually see the ground has been broken. And if you go into some of these areas, many times we have not seen ground breaking within our schools in decades. So this is great to see, and please drive by just to experience and see what is actually happening in our schools. For folks who say, we don't see what's happening, it's happening there with the groundbreaking, and it's happening in a lot of other places as well. So this is sort of an elevation of the K-5 at Rutledge Pearson. The community got to see this, interact with it, sort of give their input and advice about what they wanted their school to look like. And this will be the first school that we will see, and this board will see come out of the work that we've done. Also, new K-5, Highlands Elementary School, was just in a community meeting there and talking about what that's going to look like, and sort of revealed this elevation to that group. They're thrilled about it, and they still will go through that process, that shredding, to be able to add their advice and input to that. And of course, 6-8 at Chafee Trails, board member Joyce's area there. This is something that's needed. We have an influx of folks in that area, so it's really great that we'll have an opportunity to build something new, build something great for families out there in that area. And Ribault High, just was over there talking to the community about this. There was alum, there were students, there was staff in there that were just thrilled about what was going to be happening on Winton Drive. So thrilled about this, excited for the construction that will take place, and this is the time. This is the time to really get involved. Not a time to move away, a time to get involved. For everybody who's listening to my voice, you're going to start to see buildings pop up. You're going to start to see new things happening, and we want you to be involved in that process, whatever that means for you. And of course, going back to what we said before, the safety and security. All of our schools will be touched with safety and security upgrades, and we want to make sure that the community knows that. That's also part of what that half penny was about, those safety and security upgrades, everything from cameras to fencing, to the radios, the processes that we have. These are all things that we're going to upgrade in our schools, and many of our schools are already starting to see those upgrades. And this is something that is near and dear to me, and I wanted to make sure that I talked about this in my presentation too. We want to keep kids as safe as possible when they're in our schools, and this half penny is helping us to do that on an expanded scale. Sales Oversight Committee is a group that is making sure they're keeping track of all the building and capital projects that we have. Those meetings are open, so if you want to go to those, please feel free to head out to those. Really insightful information that group gets, and we're always looking for folks to come in and join in that conversation to see what is actually happening live. And even if you can't come, you can always go to our website. We have an amazing dashboard that the staff has put together. It talks about and details every single project that's going on in our schools. There's so much happening. It could be hard to keep track, but we're able to because of documents and dashboards like this that allow you to see into all of the work that's happening and the progress that's being made in all of our projects. So all in all, I just want to thank this board for giving me the opportunity to lead through this year. I stand on the shoulders of so many who are up here, Liz before me, Warren before that, and then Lori as well. So I've seen some great leaders sit in this seat. I'm just humbled that I was given the opportunity to be here, and I really appreciate you all for all the work that you do. A lot has happened in the last couple of years, but if you think about what I just presented and even more in your individual areas, a lot has been accomplished. So I really appreciate you. And if you could put that up one more time for me. I had to stop. I had to push this up here as well. We all have people that are either pulling us or pushing us to be able to be where we are. And I think I want to thank my wife and my awesome daughters because I'm away from them a good bit. But many times they're watching me before they go to bed at night, and they're cheering for their daddy. And I know that, and I sit up here and I do this work because of them and all the other students and their peers. So I just wanted to thank my wonderful wife and my awesome family for giving me this opportunity too. So thank you so much, and it's been a joy and a pleasure to be the chairman of this board, and I'm excited about the next leader that is going to be sitting in this seat. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman Willie. I'm actually going to yield my time to Mr. Corey Wright. Mr. Wright is going to come forward and share about the NAEP results with the school board and our community at large.
Thank you, Dr. Green, and I appreciate the opportunity to share the results of the National Assessment of Educational Progress. Let Matt progress the slides, maybe? There we go. The NAEP results were released just over a week ago on last Monday, but just for some information on what that is, the National Assessment of Educational Progress is really the only assessment given across the country to allow like districts to see how they compare to each other and really how the nation is doing as a whole. It's also known as the nation's report card. You may be familiar with that term. It historically had been administered every other odd year. So the last administration we had was in 2019, but the 2021 administration of the assessment was delayed due to the pandemic, and these results are coming from the administration which occurred between January and March of 2022. To be identified as a district who participates at scale in this assessment, you have to meet some different qualifications. The district has to be in a city of a population of at least 250,000 with a student enrollment of at least 1,500 per grade level, which is assessed. In addition to those two requirements, you have to meet one of the additional criteria here listed. Either 50% of your students are a minority or 50% are eligible for reduced lunch. And so Duval County meets that criteria, and Duval County is identified as a trial urban district. Therefore, we're able to participate at a greater scale and get individual district results instead of just being lumped in with the entire state of Florida, which goes into some of the benefits of being identified as a TUTA district. Of course, we get those district level results, which we'll see this evening. We're able to compare like districts so that we really can see in other states how our student outcomes are, as opposed to just comparing to districts who are giving the Florida state assessments. So it really gives us an opportunity to see across the country how our district is performing with other like districts. Duval County began participating as a TUTA in 2015. At that time, the Council of Grady City Schools really asked the district to participate and assisted the superintendent at the time to go through that application process. So it really was kind of an honor at that point in time to be invited. Not every district is invited. Even if you meet that criteria to be eligible, that doesn't mean you become a TUTA district. There is a selection process to be named a TUTA district. The areas in which the NAEP assesses, there's 4 different assessed areas. both in reading and math, but it's grade 4 math and grade 8 math, and then grade 4 reading and grade 8 reading. And there are some different levels of participation. We get information on National Public, which is really all of the districts who participate at some level in giving the administration assessment. And then there's the large city group, which is really all of the tutor districts combined. So we can kind of compare ourselves to how our student outcomes are to all the like districts. And then there's the state level as well. There are districts outside of Duval who participate, some as a tutor district, but then there are also the smaller districts across the state of Florida have some students participate. However, we do not get to see the results of those individual districts because the number of students participating is so much smaller. But in Florida, the other tutor districts are Hillsborough and Miami-Dade. The selection process of students taking the assessment is random. It's a random selection of students at sampled schools. Those schools that are selected have to meet certain criteria in terms of urbanization, the percentage of minority enrollment, the statewide achievement test, and socioeconomic status. But we really receive this file of students. We don't select the students. We get this file and are told which students to participate at which schools. So it's not all students in grade 4. It's not all schools in grade 4. It's just select students in schools who meet this specific criteria to allow for a random sampling of the entire district. And Ray Hart is the executive director of the Council of Great City Schools, and each time the NAEP results are released, he provides at least one, sometimes more, specific quotes for the tutor districts to allow for some context on how the district is performing in relation to the other tutor districts and the large public and or national public and the large city schools. And these are the quotes that Ray Hart gave us this year after the release. The first one says, in all subject and grade combinations, Duval County remained on par or higher than the majority of peer tutor districts across the country, despite the pandemic. Specifically, he calls out in his next quote, grade 8 math. In grade 8 mathematics, the declines were not as steep as other large districts. And then grade 8 reading, Duval's scores maintained pre-pandemic levels, while the nation, Florida, and large cities declined. Sustaining achievement in any grade or subject in the face of a global crisis is no easy feat and a testament to Duval's initiatives during and after the pandemic. So it's always interesting to gain the perspectives of those who sponsor this assessment, help bring it all together, and bring context to it. But we'll go through and see some highlights of each of the assessed areas. And first, we have grade 4 math. Overall, of all the tutor districts, of all 26 tutor districts who assessed more students and are able to get that district level data, we were ranked 4th for just overall all students. Our free reduced lunch students in that subgroup was ranked 3rd, and then our students with disabilities and our African American students were ranked 2nd among all of those tutor districts. You'll see over on the left that large city significance comparison. That large city, again, is all the tutor districts combined, all those large like districts, and their average scores combined. And you'll see the word significance throughout this presentation. NAEP determines what significance means by statistical formulas. So it's not just an arbitrary comment that we did significantly better than, but it's a statistical significance that it refers to. And you'll see there on the left, the large city significance comparison, some subgroups that did significantly higher than large city, and then some that may have been higher as far as the average scale score, or maybe even a little bit lower. In this case, there was one that was ELL was exactly the same, but the Hispanic, Caucasian, ELL were not significantly different. And while Duval County was ranked 4th overall for 4th grade math, this graphic shows, considering the statistical significance factors, that no district was higher than Duval's average scale scores for grade 4 math. If there were any higher, they would be in green. But you see those in blue that are really statistically the same as, not significantly different than Duval. And then all those highlighted in black are all the other TUDA districts that had lower average scale scores of significance than Duval. So really overall grade 4 math performed well compared to the other TUDA districts. 8th grade math in 2019, Duval County was ranked 10th. It was, and still is, our lowest ranked area. However, we improved by 3 rankings and moved to 7th among all TUDA districts. So there was some improvement there. However, a great highlight out of 8th grade math is our students with disabilities. They're ranked 1st out of all of the TUDA districts, and our African American students were ranked 3rd. And you see we were outperformed the large city. Our outcomes for African American students and students with disabilities outperformed the large city group. And then Hispanic, free, reduced, and all students were really not significantly different. And again, this is the graphic that really shows kind of that statistical significance. While we were ranked 7th overall for 8th grade math, you see 3 districts were significantly higher than us. So Miami-Dade there in green, Charlotte, and San Diego were the 3 districts that were of significance, and those average scores being higher. And we were really not statistically different than all those highlighted in blue on that map, and then again significantly higher than those in black. And we'll move to 4th grade reading. Overall, the outcomes for our 4th grade reading students, we were ranked 5th out of all of our students. But when you go into the subgroups, African American, Hispanic, and students with disabilities were ranked 4th, and our free reduced lunch students were ranked 5th as well. And you'll see our all students, African American, free reduced lunch, and students with disabilities groups were all higher than the large city group, and then Hispanic and ELL were not significantly different. And for grade 4 reading, you see Hillsborough and Miami were the only 2 districts identified as being significantly higher than Duval. So overall, Florida did really well on the NAEP results, and we see that. Typically, Miami, Hillsborough, and Duval are all in those top 3 to 5 rankings. But in this case, Hillsborough and Miami were significantly higher than Duval for 4th grade reading. In 8th grade reading, we were ranked 4th overall for all students. Again, our students with disabilities were ranked 2nd, so another great highlight there with that subgroup. And African American students ranked 3rd. And you see that, again, our students with disabilities outperformed that large city average, and those other subgroups were not significantly different. And while we were ranked 4th overall in 8th grade reading, there was just one district identified as being significantly higher than Duval, and that was San Diego. And then you'll notice all those in blue were really considered not significantly different, including Miami and Hillsborough on the map. And so overall, Duval County really shined with the rankings, while there were decreases in most categories as far as average scale scores, the entire nation saw that across the board coming out of the pandemic, and we really either stayed the same or improved in some of those ranking areas overall. So we'll take this data. We will look at it in collaboration with the district departments and determine how it relates to our internal and state assessments for both last year when the tests were given, but also how we're performing in relation to those assessments this year. Of course, we'll continue to share these results with stakeholders. It does allow for great comparison of like districts. And as always, the superintendent will continue to evaluate the district's participation. It's another assessment, and we're always having to evaluate what assessments have great value in terms of instructional time and taking that time away from teachers and putting pressure on students for those assessments. So that's always a question that we evaluate every year. So thank you for the time and allowing me to share this information.
Thank you, Mr. Wright. Any final thought, Dr. Green? No? Good?
No, that's it.
Yeah, we were, when those results came out, we were very excited about that. And oftentimes it's hard because it's not necessarily a tool that you track locally, but what it does is it signals where we're shining and signals where I know Dr. Green and the staff are going to be honing in. So congratulations to the folks involved there, and it's always great to see Duval recognized on a scale that large. So congratulations. So we're going to move into public comment, but before I do that, I want to, I know there's a number of folks here for the sex education curriculum. There was some discrepancy in when we were going to be voting on that. So before we even get to public comment, I just want to pause for a moment and recognize that. And Dr. Green, if you could explain where we are and when that's going to actually show up, because I want folks to have clarity on that before we move into the public comment and we go on with the rest of our agenda.
Through the chair to the board, we have two sections as it relates to sex education. It is the school board's policy, which is on the agenda tonight, which is what the board will be voting on. However, for the actual curriculum, we did the workshop with the board at the last workshop, but we wanted to allow families to actually peruse that curriculum. So for the entire month of November, if they have children in middle school, they can go to their middle school and look at the curriculum. High school is digital, so it will be available online. Please do not ask me, is it up just yet? But I believe it is. Somebody just told me. It is available online. And so during the month of November, our families can peruse that information, and then it will be on the board agenda in the month of December.
Thank you for that clarification. And we'll get to the piece that we vote on today with the policy, but that supplemental curriculum is what we're talking about. That will be voted on in December. So thank you for that clarity there. Now we'll move on to public comments. We're on the public comment portion of our agenda. The school board welcomes your public comments on agendas on matters that are before the board for consideration. It is not the board's intent to respond this evening, but to use the input in our deliberations. To give everyone appropriate respect and courtesy, we ask the audience to refrain from audible comments or applause. When you come to the microphone, please state your name for the record. The board will allocate time for public comment based on the number of speakers who have filled out speaker cards prior to the designated time. If we have 1 to 20 speakers, each will be allotted 3 minutes. If we have 21 to 40 speakers, each will be allotted 2 minutes. And if 41 or more speakers have signed up to speak, each will be allotted 1 minute. Tonight we have 30 speakers, so each speaker will be allotted 2 minutes to speak. When the green light in front of me starts blinking, you will have 1 minute remaining. When the light turns yellow, you will have 30 seconds remaining. When it turns red and the buzzer sounds, your time will be up. If your concerns exceed that time, you may present written comments to the board. Board policy provides for an orderly and efficient meeting without disruption by words or actions. You're asked to refrain from references to specific individuals and to follow expectations for civil discourse. In an effort to mitigate against the spread of COVID-19, we have placed hand sanitizer and disinfectant wipes at the podium. We ask that each speaker wipe down the microphone and podium before they address the board. Please remember that speaker cards were only accepted until 6:20 p.m., and we thank you for taking time to address the board. Vice Chair Coker, I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you. We will start with Kathleen Pereira, followed by Kathleen Murray, followed by Daniel Henry.
Good evening. My name is Kathleen Pereira, and thank you for letting me speak. I am an occupational therapist. I have worked for 42 years as an occupational therapist, and over half of that has been with children. So I think I'm very much an expert on the developmental stages of children, and I've also worked with the adults who have not quite grown up as well. First of all, I would like to thank the board and the superintendent for changing the all-in logos and stickers on faculty badges and for rejecting the ETR supplemental health curriculum. I would hope that this would include throwing away all those wooden male-oriented prompts, or what they really should be called, sex toys, that students should never be forced to explore. Why do I say that students should never be forced to explore these kinds of sex toys? Simply because they're not mature enough to understand everything about the biology and nuances of sex. So as educators, you of all people should understand that developmentally, children are at risk psychologically, emotionally, and even intellectually if subjects that they simply cannot comprehend are introduced prematurely. Think of it like this. You're expecting students, especially elementary and middle schoolers, to be astute enough to understand everything about sex. It makes about as much sense as expecting kindergartners to excel in calculus. Therefore, if educators and even the school board continue to insist that a curriculum similar to the supplemental health curriculum is appropriate for children and pre-screens, teens, then you should not be surprised when you lose public trust, which will only result in all of your decisions being questions. And lastly, I applaud having a culture of reading and Duval ready rather than a culture of sexualizing our children. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll now have Kathleen Murray, followed by Daniel Henry, followed by Katie Hathaway.
Good evening. My name is Kathleen Murray, Executive Director for County Citizens Defending Freedom Duval. On behalf of CCDF Duval, I would like to thank the superintendent and board for rejecting the ETR supplemental health curriculum. The superintendent's leadership is greatly appreciated, and we congratulate her on her national award. In addition, CCDF Duval respectfully requests that the DCPS not use the anatomically correct props in middle school for condom demonstrations. First, because the majority of middle school students are not sexually active, and this type of prop is not age appropriate. Second, according to a study published in The Atlantic magazine covering 22 school districts in 12 states, affecting 484 schools, condom distribution actually increased the rate of teen births. Researchers involved in the study were surprised to learn that, quote, show and tell programs encourage kids to have sex or engage in risky sexual behavior, unquote. For these reasons, we respectfully request that the props not be used. Thank you in advance for your consideration.
Thank you. We'll now have Daniel Henry, followed by Katie Hathaway, followed by Erica DeMore.
Good evening. Good evening. My name is Daniel Henry, and my address is on file. I just want to commend the board first for considering the rule that it will promulgate tonight regarding how you'll deal with medical accurate materials for sex education. I think that point is very important when it comes to the actual curriculum that you come up with later on in the school year. The one point of concern that I would like to express is the timing in which that curriculum will be created after the board adopts it at its December meeting. At that point, we'll be at the halfway point of the school year. So the distance between the curriculum being adopted, the materials being created, that being distributed to the teachers for them to be able to create a lesson plan for sex education is rather truncated. So I'd be really interested to know what kind of remedial plan that the school board will come up with to deal with the last end of the school year and how you'll make sure that students get that point of education before the school year ends. And I know I can't address a particular school board member, but I just want to say that I really appreciate all of the dedicated service that the school board members have done on the school board for the last 4 years. And I just want to say that all of you are appreciated in every way. We all have our bases of support, and I just want to say thank you for your service and for your commitment to this community. Thank you.
And thank you for adhering to board policy by not referencing anyone individually. We appreciate that. Civil discourse is always good. Katie Hathaway, followed by Erica Demore, followed by Alyssa Barr.
Good evening, Dr. Green and school board members. My name's Katie Hathaway, and I'm the mom of 2 DCPS middle schoolers. I am here tonight to express my gratitude, as it's the last meeting for outgoing board members. The past few years, this board has faced unprecedented times, yet you navigated our district with your steady leadership. Thank you for listening to the broader community and for moving our city forward by renaming 6 Confederate named schools. Thank you for listening to medical experts and as we navigated through a global pandemic. Thank you for doing what was best in each moment to protect the health of our students, teachers, and our community. And in spite of all the challenges the pandemic presented, as we heard earlier, Duval County Public Schools improved its national rankings, and we remained among the top 5 districts nationally in both 4th grade reading and math, while continuing to provide a well-rounded education for our students. So I want to give a huge shout out to our educators and to our leaders in our district. I really appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll now have Erica Demore, followed by Alyssa Barr, followed by Samantha Hamill.
Hello, I'm Erica Demore, and I'm here for the new sex ed curriculum that has been redone, even though the previous one was just fine. And I also want to urge you that I have seen through meeting after meeting continual lies being said against the curriculum, and I'm really quite concerned that this is such a real danger to democracy. The incessant fallacies I hear, and that people, give to them, and I don't understand, how in a democratic society we can allow outright misinformation to be heard as fact. So, knowing some of the people that worked on this new curriculum, I urge you to please put it in effect as soon as possible. I can appreciate you giving a month for parents to peruse it, but I will tell you that the use of wooden props for high school students will not lead to pregnancy. I was a woodworker for 2 years. I can tell you that you don't get pregnant from wood. And also the use of condoms also reduce pregnancy, despite what the Atlantic might think. So again, thank you to the board members for all your education and your continued efforts on these things, and thank you for those who will not be here next meeting. And again, I see the rest of my time. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll now have Alyssa Barr, followed by Samantha Hamill, followed by Michelle Matazu.
Hi, thank you for having me. My name is Alyssa Barr. I'm a Duval resident, a professor of public health at UNF, and a parent of 2 teenagers. Over the last few months actually, you've heard from a lot of our Duval professionals in medicine, public health, and counseling. And by now, you know collectively that we support comprehensive and inclusive sex ed. I actually have our current curriculum with me. I'm very familiar with this because I train our teachers. It's unfortunate that our current sex ed curriculum was canceled because a lot of misinformation that was presented about it. I'd like to share some factual information, and I really wish we could go back and reconsider before pulling it, but I'm not asking that tonight. I don't even know if that's possible, but I think it's important to know 5 things. Number 1, hardly anyone opted out of this. Less than 0.001%. Again, it was 33 students out of about 40,000. The overwhelming majority still support it. Number 2, teen dating violence is down because of this curriculum. Number 3, teens reported ever having sex is also down. Isn't that something that we all want in this room? Whether you want comprehensive or not, we all want our young kids to not have sex. Number 4, and this is important, nowhere in this curriculum does it teach how to have sex. proper medically accurate contraceptives are talked about and how to use them, we would never teach kids how to have sex, and nowhere does it mention anything about dildos. That was presented several meetings ago, and specifically 7.5-inch dildos. That's nowhere in here, and nowhere would anybody support that. And finally, ETR are the publishers, not the authors, and it's ETR, not ERT, as some people call it. One of the authors is actually a social worker and a professor of social work and dean at the University of Maryland, not in California. We could have minor pieces of this edited that some folks don't like, take out the Herman and Herman story. We've heard that some people don't like that, but starting from scratch, I don't think a lot of people realize how much time and energy goes into that to create something that's evidence-based or evidence-promising. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll now have Samantha Hamill, followed by Michelle Matisu, followed by Dr. Jennifer Cowart.
Hello and good evening. My name is Samantha Hamill. I have a master's degree in public health, and I also work for CAN Community Health. And I am a Duval parent with a son in the 6th grade. My son enjoys creating customized masks. Yes, masks. And he's rather good at them. He chose not to attend his school's Halloween dance in fear of being made fun of, stating no one likes furries. For those of you who don't know what a furry is used to describes animals with human characteristics. Some may find this to be silly, but as a parent, I found it to be rather disheartening. There is a lot of misinformation about children's identities, but they're expressing themselves and having fun without using a litter box. I couldn't help but to think of those who go on every day afraid or ashamed of who they are or where they come from. Excuse me, I'm sorry. The kids that don't express themselves or their individuality because of what others may think. Such negativity that is projected is learned behavior, and it all starts at home. It is our responsibility to keep our kids safe, protected, and heard. Inclusive schools create a positive effect on all students and have been shown to reduce bullying, discrimination, and harassment. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll now have Michelle Matisu, followed by Dr. Jennifer Cowart, followed by Pam Robbins.
Greetings, and thank you for a wonderful meeting, and I really appreciate each one of you being here.
State your name for the record.
I'm sorry,
You're
Michelle
good.
Michelle Matisu.
Thank you.
Okay, so I'd stated earlier, several meetings ago, that we were military and we lived in a lot of different places. And in 2004, our oldest son was hitting the grade where they were going to teach comprehensive sex ed. And when I asked for the curriculum, they were like, well, we don't have it. So I had to go digging around and find it. And the curriculum came straight out of San Francisco. It was offered free to all school districts, and it was heavily biased towards an agenda. So I opted our son out of it. So fast forward, here we are in 2022. I have a family member that is in one of the academy schools, and he was just told last month that they could come forward for a piece of candy. This is a teacher. Come forward for a piece of candy, but they had to say, I am gay first. What does that have to do with education? I am not here to advocate that students are picked on, bullied, but that is also equally inappropriate. This same student, his learning curriculum this summer was taken off. Parent can't find it, but the list was heavily CRT. So when parents are coming here to talk and give their concerns, it's not something that we're pulling out of our imaginations. Now in California, parents, if you have your child in a public school out there, you're not allowed to opt them out. It's not even allowed. They start teaching sex ed in kindergarten. So goes California, so goes the rest of the United States, and that's why so many parents are up in arms about this. Our children are our future, and it is up to parents to partner with educators, but not to have them separated through agendas. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. We'll now have Dr. Jennifer Cowart, followed by Pam Robbins, followed by Catherine Lukens-Bull.
Dr. Jennifer Cowart, thank you for your time this evening. I'm glad to be here this evening to talk about the proposed rule change on the medically accurate prompts regarding the sexual health curriculum. I think the change seems like a clarification to a rule, something that was already allowed, now is being clarified as being in for grades 9 through 12. I think that seems very practical. But what we're talking about is the teaching of anatomy, and the talking about human health and sexuality involves the teaching of anatomy. So as a practicing physician, I often have to describe to patients, even adult patients, what their anatomy is and how that's relevant to whatever complaint it is that they're in the hospital for. So a common terrible drawing that I do is of a gallbladder and a liver, and trying to describe the relationship between the two, because no one understands this. They have a pain, they don't know why. So I have to draw the gallbladder and its relationship to the liver and how this matters. When there's a problem with reproductive organs, I have to do the same thing. I have to draw a picture sometimes to illustrate the anatomy. So what we're really talking about is the teaching of accurate anatomy in an age-appropriate way, and being able to describe this to students so that they can understand what's going on with their own bodies so they can make good decisions. So I think the rule change seems practical and pragmatic, and what I'm really hoping that we can get to is the implementation of a comprehensive and inclusive sex ed curriculum this academic year, so that our students don't fall behind on these important topics. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll now have Pam Robbins, Katrine Lukens-Bull, and Taylor Hovansik.
Good evening. Congratulations, Doctor. You're doing a great job, and we appreciate you very much, Dr.
Please state
Green.
your name for the record.
Everyone.
Please state your name for the record.
Dr. Pam Malarkey Robbins.
Thank you.
I'm a former school board member in St. Johns County, former health educator, and still a counselor. And I know what is age appropriate, I know what is not age appropriate, and what we're trying to teach children is not age appropriate because the law states that age of consent for children in Florida is 18 years old. Why are we teaching them how to have sex, teaching them about oral, anal, vaginal sex when they're not supposed to be having that? We're teaching them things that they're going to be excited about because they're teenagers. Why do we need to do that? We don't. That's not age appropriate. When you bring in a middle school child who's not had sex, and most of them have not had sex, a majority, great majority, and you embarrass them in front of each other, and you don't separate them by sexes, you're not being age appropriate. That's not medical accuracy. That's hijacking our children. Our children go through a transition of modesty, which is a very important transition in their lives because it keeps them safe from harm. And if you bombard that transition of modesty and you bombard it with sexual graphic things and so forth and so on, they can flip the switch and they can change the modesty to become very sexually active. And this is all researched. And I think a lot of people would like that, to see kids become sexually active. I hope it's not our health educators, because we know better, and we should know better. And we should give them curriculum that is healthy, that won't upset any parents. And I have to give you a gift, each one of you, Envision Defining Your Direction in Life journal. It was produced 25 years ago. It's been updated every year, and it's been used in Haiti, Uganda, Africa, and Russia, and the Dominican Republic, and all over the United States. It's free to you. You can have the copyright. You can use it. Just take care of our children and
Thank
don't
you.
harm them. Thank you.
You may leave those with legal counsel right at the end here. He'll come get them from you. And I need to remind the speakers, please don't refer to anyone by name. I know sometimes you want to say nice things, but again, board policy explicitly prohibits that. Katrine Lukens-Bull, Taylor Hovansik, followed by Jessica Wilson.
Hi, my name is Katrine Lukens-Bull, and I both a mother of students that have been through the Duval County Public School System. I'm also an educator at the University of North Florida in public health. And I'm here to talk to you about the sexual health education curriculum. And I teach epidemiology. I teach public health research, these very data-driven subjects. And when I'm teaching these things and looking at population-based data and listening to a lot of what the other people here have to say, it comes back to me that when I know parents are very concerned about what their individual child is learning, but you all, as the school board and as the school district and our leaders of our school district, our teachers, the leaders in the classrooms, these kind of people see the needs overall of the population of students who are needing education. I understand that people have concerns. A lot of them I don't think are founded, but I would just ask you all to really put your confidence in the very well-educated school board, the well-educated leader of our school district, the very well-educated teachers that teach our students in the classroom, and let them do their job for an inclusive and comprehensive sexual health education. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll now have Taylor Havancic, followed by Jessica Wilson, followed by Carmen Martinez.
Hello, board members. My name is Taylor Hovancic. I'm really glad to be back in support of comprehensive and inclusive sex education in our Duval County schools. Like I said, I am a graduate student. I'm a counseling intern at the University of North Florida, and I'm also a mom-to-be in 2 months. I was informed that there is a vote for medically accurate materials and props for high school, middle school sex education. I am in total support of this, as the materials that we use should be medically accurate. To aid in the comprehensive and evidence-based curriculum that we're rooting for. So remember the science textbooks from middle school that showed the anatomical parts for the reproductive system? Well, I don't, because I went to a K-8 school that mandated abstinent practices. However, we'd be following that same protocol. No sexually explicit items or pornography or tutorials on how to have sex. Sex education is and will be treated like every other science curriculum and every other system that we are taught in our bodies, like the digestive system and things like that. As a graduate student who is actively in research and is up to date on current evidence-based knowledge at UNF, middle and high schoolers are developmentally ready to learn about sex education based around this time because of their changing bodies and their anatomies, and with the age of consent being 16 years old in the state of Florida. And remember, I would like you to have the option to pull your child out because you have a right to freedom of religion and values, and that should be protected. But even as a Catholic myself, I believe that comprehensive sex ed should not be taken away on the basis of any religion or politics. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll now have Jessica Wilson, followed by Dr. Carmen Martinez, followed by Carnell Oliver.
Good evening. My name is Jessica Wilson. I am a mom, a grandma, concerned parent, concerned citizen, and a member of the Jacksonville Now, National Organization for Women. I'm not going to spout a lot of data. We've got a lot of that tonight. I have a child who was recently in middle school. And unfortunately, some people don't get truth from their children. I did. In 6th grade, his friends were having sex. His friends hadn't had sex education yet. This was happening. My kid, I found out later that he was fooling around, didn't actually have intercourse, fooling around, 7th grade. Okay, so the statistics, 6th graders aren't reporting what they're actually doing. It's happening, y'all. It really is happening. The earlier the education, the earlier the medically accurate education, the better, because you're going to prevent middle school pregnancies. We're not talking high school. We're not talking 15, 16 years old. You're going to prevent middle school pregnancies, middle school sexually transmitted diseases. All right, this is going to happen if you don't allow the comprehensive and inclusive sex education. Oh, and by the way, gay sex happens too in middle school, okay? Homosexual and trans kids exist, and the inclusive sexual education needs to incorporate them as well as heterosexual children. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll now have Dr. Carmen Martinez, followed by Carnell Oliver, followed by Brian Morrell.
Good evening. My name is Dr. Carmen Martinez, and my address is on file. My practice was in Ponte Vedra Beach, Ponte Vedra Medical Center for many years, and I had hospital privileges at all the local hospitals. I'm here to object to the forced indoctrination of the LGBT agenda by this board and by schools in general. This agenda is being used by the left to destroy the family and to challenge the idea that marriage between a man and a woman is somehow not the norm, when in fact it is the norm. When homosexuality was not enough to turn things around, the left turned to transgender ideology, trying to confuse young children who are struggling to grow up, and then giving them this anti-human information is nothing less than child abuse. The transgender ideology is designed to having people accept human cyborgs. This is an evil ideology. And I demand, as a physician, as a grandparent, and as a pure-blood human being, that school boards and you also stop this evil behavior and stick to teaching only reading, arithmetic, and athletics for boys and girls separately. I object to the transgender agenda, and I would like to have schools stop trying to usurp the role of the parent.
Thank you.
Thank
We'll
you.
now have Carnell Oliver, followed by Brian Morrell, followed by Alam Alahassan.
My name is Carnell Oliver. Address is on file. I want to be very clear and very direct. I'm giving y'all an assignment, and I need y'all to start writing it down, like right now. What I want y'all to do is have a bill drafted based on Australia, because I can't fix the problem between people that are born in my age bracket because of lack of the more ignorance in the political system and economic prosperity. I want Australia's civic education bill drafted and modeled for our state. You pay them lobbyists, you get them boots on the ground, because I can't deal with y'all. People my own age, people a little bit more older, everybody has an isolated message. It don't work if you don't have an educated voting base. Australia has an educated voting base. And I can't deal with a broken system until I start looking at the future. Because right now we have a Band-Aid problem when it comes down to education. And they only serve those that have power and wealth, that have control over our economics. So when I say jump, that's what I say. You know how I treat them over there. My patience for people that we elect in office are very thin. And when it comes down to y'all over here, stay out of over there on the city side. If you don't want to serve this community right, I'll come back over here and I'll give you a hard time. And if I have to give you a hard time, I'm going to tell everybody about social promotion. It used to be a Democratic policy where kids, they did not make their grades. Now the governor that we have now is doing it because they're manipulating the numbers for the funding.
Thank you, Mr. Oliver. We'll now have Brian Morrell, followed by Alam Alahassan, followed by Frank Delaney.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Brian Morrell. My address is on file. First off, I want to thank all of you for your service to our community. Times like this are probably not what you expected when you signed up for this, so thank you. But here we are. Congratulations to you and to Duval at large for the successes that we viewed tonight. It is those little victories that kind of keep us going, and that's all goodness, so we appreciate that. Many folks in this room, including me, believe that some of the material proposed for inclusion in our children's middle school health curriculum is very graphic, delving into sexualization, soft porn, and even grooming. Further, we believe that schools should limit their work to teaching the basics such as writing, reading, arithmetic, those kind of things. History and even, yes, science, biology, in a non-sexualized way, especially for that age group in middle school. We have thousands of years of experience and proof that the laws of nature and nature's God work. They're right. It's what works for humanity. I encourage you to keep that in mind as you work with members of the community on both sides of the issue to come up with a health curriculum worthy of our young citizens. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll now have Alam Alahassi. And if you will please pronounce your full name so I can know how to pronounce your last name correctly.
My name is Ahlam Al-Hujaji.
Thank you.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me. I first want to start off by saying that I once had the pleasure of educating a woman in her 60s about an STD she contracted. This is the result of the lack of education. This is the generation you will be creating when you cease to provide comprehensive sex education in middle and high school. You create uneducated mothers and fathers. You create unhealthy relationship dynamics. Most kids are not fortunate enough to have these conversations at home, and therefore we need to have them at schools. Comprehensive sex ed that is inclusive and medically accurate protects all kids, not only from STDs, but also from dating violence. We are not trying to increase sexual activity or sexualize your kids. This is biology. These kids will eventually turn to adults who will eventually have sex. So why not educate them while we can? Thank you.
Thank you. We'll now have Frank Delaney, followed by Lori Crunden, followed by Becky Nathanson.
Frank DeLong.
Thank you. I apologize.
Chairman of the IBW 177 Unit 2. Look at all these bright, cheerful faces. Makes me proud to be an American. Our current budget is $2.6 billion. Before I start, I need to know that we put in an information request and haven't got the numbers back for this. Did the taxpayers know that the district is now paying approximately $830,000 for AstroTurf, and the district wants to replace all 17 high schools only? Maintenance will not, again, another contractor will do the fixing of this thing. According to Bowles, it'll cost approximately $5,000 per field. So when the high schools are done, that will cost taxpayers $85,000 a year. Now, a freshly sodded field costs $100,000 every 30 to 40 years. So for the cost of one AstroTurf field, you could sod 8 fields. Now, at $830,000, so in 10 years, when they have to be replaced, the first field, it will now start costing $1,660,000 per year. It costs approximately doubling every 10 years. Taxpayers' money is not going into the schools. Here's a shocker. For maintenance chemicals for 190 acres, which includes high schools, middle schools, was $115,000 a year. Now it's down to $85,000. They wanted to cut that budget down to $50,000. As of today, no chemicals have been purchased for the school year for these fields. And in doing so, the fields look bad. So you're now trying to justify new turf fields because the grass fields look bad. That's a self-serving thing there. One other thing, in 10 years, the district will have to pay for the removal of said carpet. And
Thank you. We'll now have Lori Crunden, followed by Becky Nathanson, followed by Larissa Williams.
Good evening. My name is Lori Crunden, and my address is on record. I wanted to thank you all for rejecting the ETR supplemental health curriculum. I had a chance to look at some of that curriculum, and it was highly inappropriate for 12 to 14-year-olds, but also really for all school-age children, like even, high school children. That's just not appropriate. I do have copies of some of the stuff that I looked at, and For example, in a 7th grade curriculum, it talks about sex with someone on the pill with no condom, penis in the vagina, no condom, penis in the rectum with a condom. That was in the 8th grade curriculum. There's also mouth to genitals with a latex barrier, penis in the vagina with latex condom, mouth to genitals with no latex barrier. I mean, if I was an 8th grade science teacher and I had to talk to a 14-year-old about that, I would be embarrassed and I'd be appalled that I was being required to teach that. So I applaud you and kudos to you for rejecting that curriculum. I think it needs to be a little bit more age appropriate. And along those lines, I would also like to ask you to consider rejecting the wooden penises that are supposed to be used to demonstrate how to put a condom on. Again, if I was an 8th grade teacher, I would be kind of embarrassed to have to talk to a 14-year-old boy about how to do that. So thank you.
Thank you. We'll now have Becky Nathanson, followed by Larissa Williams, followed by Dr. Nancy Stotts.
Good evening. My name is Becky Nathanson with Moms for Liberty Duval. I want to shine some light on what many members of the public see as an intentional effort by the district to either mislead the board or hide information from the public. Abigail Schreier advises that when you see things happen that you know to be wrong, where you find that the standard line is actually a lie, and when you feel the nub of your will pressing you to do something or say something, don't sit there like a sock puppet. So here I am. On September 21st, Ms. Albritton stated to the board that the use of medically accurate props was for high school, not middle school.
Ma'am, and I'm going to give you an extra couple seconds for this, but again, not to refer to people by name, please. You can say district
Okay,
staff.
I've read the policy. It doesn't say that, but I'll do
Thank
what you
you.
said. This is a direct quote from her regarding the use of penis props. The demonstration and the intent of moving toward this was specifically for high school. We were not really provided the opportunity to speak to that. I have 3 documented examples from October last year when the district made it very clear that they had every intention of using the props in middle school health lessons. During the October school board meeting last year, in an email sent to me last October by one member of the district and in an email sent to me by the superintendent that all explicitly stated that penis props were for 8th grade lessons. Additionally, in August 2021, a district official read aloud to the board every revision to the policy but skipped over the new props language. He carefully avoided reading this one revision aloud. These examples of shifting statements are the thin edge of a wedge. Accept this little bit of dishonesty on the grounds that it's just about grade difference and find yourself comfortable with even more dishonesty. I remind you that it is not those who call this out who are guilty of destroying the public trust or wanting public schools dismantled. It is those who have departed from the truth and those who willfully exploit the public's trust that have done the destructive work. Thank you.
Thank you. And again, thank you for working with me on policy. Larissa Williams, followed by Dr. Nancy Stotts, followed by Judy Sheldon. Okay. We will move to Dr. Potts. Stotts. You have the most clever phonemic piece, anyway, on the Potts like Stotts. Thank you for putting the little reminder on here.
Sure. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you so much for hearing me out. My name is Dr. Nancy Stotts. I'm a Duval resident. I am a physician with 29 years of clinical experience, but I'm an anesthesiologist. I'm not an expert on sex education. But I'm here to encourage you strongly to support a comprehensive and inclusive sex education program as soon as possible for 3 reasons. Number 1, this decision impacts at least 60 to 65,000 kids from the data I see, and Duval, unfortunately, as you all probably know, have some of the highest STD rates and teen pregnancy rates in the country. So we need to address this, period. You are here for the health and safety of our children. Second reason is that sex ed is neither controversial nor new. Probably most everyone in this room had sex education, although wow, we really seem focused on some of the props. But at any rate, it is not controversial at all. And there are many groups out there whose job it is to be expert on these and to recommend or not recommend. And finally, the third reason is there is a slew of trusted medical groups who support comprehensive sex ed, including the American Academy of Pediatrics, the American Medical Association, the Society for Adolescent Medicine, and let me just go with a few others, the American Association of Educational Counselors and Therapists, the American Association of University Women, the American Association of Intellectual and Developmental Disabilities, the American College Health Association, the American College of Nurse Midwives, the American College of OBGYNs, and I'm not even through 1/3 of the letter A of the associations who recommend this. Finally, I just want to say thank you to each and every member of this board for trying to uphold truth and follow science in the interest of our students and staff. You are all very much appreciated.
Thank you. We'll now have Judy Shelkin, followed by Alexander Jenkins, followed by Cindy Watson.
Good evening. My name is Judy Shecklin. I am a retired school counselor, 35 years in Duval County schools, worked in middle schools and elementary schools. And I'm also the grandparent of a current DCPS child, and I'm a school volunteer. My belief is that every secondary student in the Duval County Public Schools should have access to a comprehensive, inclusive sex education curriculum. Most families want their children to have accurate information that will keep them safe, help them make educated decisions, avoiding the pitfalls of STIs, HIV, and of course, unplanned pregnancies. The curriculum needs to be LGBTQ plus inclusive. We know that many of the students, up to 25% of our high school students, identify as LGBTQ. And they need to receive information and support to learn and thrive in a safe classroom environment. Whatever materials and props will most effectively provide this information on having a high quality, our children's health and safety depend on having a high quality, science-based, accurate, and comprehensive sex education curriculum. Thank you for your work and your contribution to our city and our children's education.
Thank you. We'll now have Alexander Jenkins, followed by Cindy Watson, followed by Elton Brown.
Good evening, board. My name is Alexander Jenkins. My address is on file. I appreciate you guys having me up here tonight. I want to begin by thanking you for rejecting the ETR curriculum. Guys, I'm here tonight as a business owner to get back to blocking and tackling. I appreciated the presentation on NAEP, but I'll remind everybody that those scores are a bell curve. We're comparing ourselves to our peer groups. And the reality is that all average scale scores for grade 4 reading by all students nationally in each of these jurisdictions is below proficient. So we may be doing better than everybody else, but that's like being faster than the slow one-legged guy, right? So proficiency is the goal. Your stated vision is to ensure that every student is inspired and prepared for success in college and career and in life. Your mission is to provide educational excellence for every student every day. The test scores show that you are failing to hit your mark. Only 57% of students are proficient in math, while 49% are proficient in reading. Guys, the work that you are doing is tremendous. I don't envy the role that you're in. What a pressure cooker, getting ping pong back and forth between all of these various advocacy groups and their agenda. But the reality is we got to zero this back in on what's important, and that's getting these kids into college. The focus of this board should be on academics as per the reality that you're failing to hit your stated objectives. We don't pay taxes to subsidize curriculum that goes against the values of us as individual parents. Leave our children up to us. We will raise them and we will sexually educate them at an age that we choose in our homes according to our values. This isn't your problem. Rejecting ETR was a very wise choice, caving to the pressure of advocacy groups who really only speak for about 7% of the U.S. population is a dramatic usurpation of your responsibility to all students within this entire county. And I will just add something that's really important, all this back and forth about physical maturity, emotional maturity, age appropriate. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. We'll now have Cindy Watson, followed by Elton Brown, followed by Darshini Von Cheese, one arm. You're gonna definitely.
Good evening. I'm Cindy Watson, CEO of Jasmine. Thank you for your service to students in this community and to your care in safeguarding their education. I'm speaking tonight in favor of the school board's approval of policies regarding the comprehensive sex education materials and curriculum. I'm an advocate for LGBTQ young people, and in my role at Jasmine, I understand the need for this curriculum and this education. The STI rates in Jacksonville have been among the highest in the state for chlamydia and gonorrhea for many years, and young people ages 15 to 25 have those highest rates. And Jacksonville also has high rates of HIV. We're in the top 10 metropolitan areas for new HIV cases in the country, and have been in the top 10 for at least 5 years. So without clear, accurate prevention information, our STI rates will continue to rise, and young people will face long-term health consequences. Abstinence-only education is not a viable answer for most teens and ignores the reality that teens are sexually active now or will be within a few years. Teens need factual information and activities and medically accurate props that help them learn and retain their health education. So I urge you to support the curriculum in its fullest form so students will not miss out on this life-saving information during this school year. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll now have Elton Brown, followed by Darshini, and I'm going to have her pronounce the name for me when she gets up here, followed by Harriet Vasquez.
Good evening, Superintendent, Chair, board members. My name is Elton Brown. I'm president of Local 2941, representing food service and custodians. And I also come before you to speak on behalf of them, as well as the students of this district. It is with great concern, and I implore you to reconsider your relationship with these contractors, Chartwell and HES. Neither company has required, or neither company is up to level with their staffing levels here. The quality of work that should be provided to the students and staff and families of this district is causing them or the employees to cut corners. In Chartwell's cafeteria, the lines are getting longer. Can we do this? In Chartwell's, the cafeteria lines are getting longer, reducing the time for students to have to eat. And we all know that this might be the only meal of the day that they eat. The staffing levels are causing items like this to be used as a prep for the students' consumption. I find this to be a hard road for the students to accept here. You know, HES is playing Russian roulette with the health and safety of the students of all district personnel by not having the proper staffing levels or cleaning material to ensure that the schools are properly sanitized and running the risk of infectious diseases to pop up and potentially spread throughout the district and being supplied with the substandard cleaning supplies. This is all going throughout the school district. Thank you so much, and y'all have a wonderful evening.
Thank you. We'll now have Darshini, followed by Harriet Vasquez, followed by Dan Merkin. And please pronounce your last name so I can get that right.
Hi, my name is Darshini Vanchis Warren, and I'm a sophomore at Stanton College Preparatory School. First, I would like to thank all of you for giving me the opportunity to speak in front of you today through public comment. Today, I'm here to talk about the epidemic of sexual harassment and/or assault in our school district. According to a study in the United States Department of Health and Human Services, every 68 seconds an American is sexually assaulted, and every 9 minutes that victim is a child. When students get sexually harassed, they experience real trauma. Though this issue has become more and more talked about, so many are desensitized to it, and all they see are a bunch of numbers and statistics, not actual people going through real painful experiences. Many of you in this room have children. Imagine they come home one day and say that somebody at school, even a peer, has harassed or assaulted them. 7 years old at Bartram Springs Elementary School. A second grader had a fellow classmate grab her butt almost every day for years. The teacher told her that the boy had a crush on her. 7 years old. The girl had no idea what was happening to her and didn't even know that it was wrong. She is now an adult and still faces the consequences every single day. Maybe if she had someone to go to when it happened, or the teachers were taught how to handle this could have been stopped. She was scared, much like any survivor is, regardless of their age or gender. Scared that no one would believe them, and scared that it was their fault. This and so many other incidents is why it is crucial that this district informs all of its students who their Title IX coordinator is, how to contact them, how Title IX applies to them, and what the Title IX coordinators can do to help them. On the Duval County website, Title IX is almost impossible to access, and I myself had to search it up as it wasn't shown on the website. The changes to the sexual harassment policy I am asking for today could, with proper enforcement, go far in helping students who have experienced sexual harassment and assault or will experience this in the future to feel more safe and supported by the school. So many who have tried to come forward about their experiences in this district haven't been believed and have had teachers who are supposed to help them. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll now have Harriet Vasquez, followed by Dan Merkin, followed by Rosalie Van Nostrand.
Hi, my name is Harriet Vasquez. There's a wise saying that says, "You will know them by their fruits." When I look at the fruit of this board, I see that you've done irreparable damage to the education of our children by forcing a mask mandate illegally. And then you went and took a lawsuit out with our taxpayer dollars, and you literally said, parents' rights don't matter. That's what you said. That's quoted in your lawsuit, so anybody can go there and read that. On top of that, not only did you do that, you've got your friends coming in here telling us about how great your reading culture is. You've got them coming in to tell us about that. 20 minutes a day, we'll do some really great stuff. Well, you got our kids for 8 hours a day. What are you doing? More than half your students are failing at reading proficiency. More than half. 20 minutes a day, what are you doing? Because you're not helping our children read. You're not helping our children read. And then on top of that, you want to push a skills-based sex education perverted curriculum with your 7.5-inch penis? You want to push that on our children? You can't even teach math skills to our children. You can't teach reading skills to our children. And you're telling us, your superintendent is telling us, oh, hey, guess what? Broward is doing the same thing. They've got the same book, but they don't. It's a lie. What else are you lying about? You want us to trust you. That's what you tell us. Oh, trust us. Trust you with what? Look at the fruits of what you've produced. Look at our children. You want us to congratulate you and buy you flowers because more than half our students can't read? They suck at math? How are they going to read their tenant agreement? How are they going to read their mortgage? How are they going to read their employment agreements?
Thank you. We'll now have Dan Merkin, followed by Rosalie Van Nostrand.
Hi, I'm Dan Merkin. I'm here to speak in favor of a comprehensive sex ed. I come from a place of knowledge, having worked in HIV prevention and served on planning bodies for over 20 years. We know that comprehensive sex ed is one of the best things that we have compared to other forms of education, including things like abstinence only, abstinence plus. Comprehensive sex ed is the standard, which we know from meta studies has the most impact in terms of being able to prevent STIs and unwanted pregnancies. Comprehensive sex ed also has to be LGBT inclusive. We know from our own data in this school district that close to 20% identify as gay, lesbian, or bisexual. Another few percent identify as transgender. And then we have many young people who are sexually active and may have had same-sex sexual partners but don't necessarily identify as gay, lesbian, or bisexual or transgender. So those folks need education. And these young people, the only place they're going to get it is here because we know their parents are going to bring it up. And we have some folks here that say that they're happy to teach their kids, but the reality is we live in a world where most people, adults included, are not very sexually literate. And they may not even be equipped to have these conversations about their own sexual activity with their own adult peers. So we need to have educators take the lead on that so people can get accurate, medically accurate information. You know, it's just, I would also speak in favor of using demonstrators so people know how to accurately put on a condom, and that should start in middle school. And I don't think there's much more to say about that, other than that we know that we have middle school kids that are sexually active. They might not even identify some of the things they're doing as sex based on the lack of information that they have. So it's really important that they get the information so they know what they're doing.
Thank you. We'll now have Rosalie Van Nostrand.
Thank you for allowing me to speak. You guys must be pretty exhausted. It's pretty
Please.
rough out here, huh?
State your name for the record for us, please.
Roselle Van Ostrand.
Thank you.
I live in Avondale. My son's a teacher, and he teaches English, and I'm really proud. And he's decided to tutor after school reading, so I know there's a great need, and I'm glad there's professional people out there willing to step up and meet that need. As far as sex ed, I can pretty much say from my experience as a mother that there was no one my son would rather hear talk about sex than his mother. If he had to hear it with a room full of peers, it would probably be a lot easier on our kids than having our parents who are probably not, as well trained. And I have to say, the amount of professional people who have shown up tonight to lend their voice is pretty astonishing and admirable after working all day at their jobs as doctors and educators like you all. And I think props are totally appropriate. I mean, are you going to use your hand? Or why are we ashamed of our bodies? That's the other thing. I mean, I grew up Catholic, so I totally get it. The shame is real. But there's no reason to share it and pass it on. You know, we can end that all. Talk about penises, talk about vaginas. These kids are having abstinence, but they're having oral sex and anal sex, everything but vaginal sex. I'm telling you, STDs are high. Why are they high? Because these kids are having all sorts of alternate sex. And God bless them, but they should know how to prevent themselves from getting sick. We owe them that respect and that information. We should not be afraid of information, and we should not be afraid of sharing our bodies and how they work. These kids deserve to know how their bodies work, and there's nothing to be ashamed of. So I would listen to all the smart people that have been up here tonight, not just opinions. Thank you.
Thank you. That concludes our speaker cards. We did have 7 who waived their right to speak, but we always make sure we are recognizing them. Laura Atkins supports medically accurate materials and props. Justin Cougar supports medically accurate props for 912. Julie Geisman, opposition completely opposed of any ETR supplemental health curriculum. No use of anatomically correct props for middle school health. Jeff Annison, opposition. And it says, thank you for not passing the curriculum as not to have anatomically correct props. Kenneth Steele, support allowing health teacher to be allowed to use medically accurate information and props in the new sex ed curriculum. Wendy J. Collins, support keeping sex education in the curriculum. Meridian Parkinson, in support of having sexual education in the classroom, comprehensive and inclusive. And that concludes all of our speaker cards this evening.
Thank you, Vice Chair, and thank you for all the folks who came and spent time to come in and share your thoughts with the board. We appreciate you and your voice. We're going to now move on to designated parent organizations. Are there any parent organizations who wish to address the board? That would be the District Advisory Council, Parent Advisory Council, or Exceptional Student Education Committee. Seeing none of those, we'll now move on to comments from designated employee organizations. I'll call on folks from either the DTU, AFSCME, JSA, LIUNA, IBW, FOP. Is that Mr. Bryant? There he is. And if there are any other organizations, you can jump in the queue for us.
Good evening. David Bryant, President and Assistant Business Manager for IBW, Local 177. I represent your maintenance employees and your school safety assistants. My colleague, Mr. DeLong, he likes to hit, one of his hobbies is finding money. And I love it because we need more for our bargaining units. This evening I did a quick search before I came over here. Just real quick, went to the school board homepage, then got down into the, just clicked for careers. My bargaining unit people don't have any, none of the jobs that are open show up until page 6 on there, which, okay, we need a lot of teachers too, and I know that. We have postings for carpenters, plumbers, HVAC, well, they call it HAR, technicians, utility mechanics, locksmith, painter, plumber, groundskeeper, and, of course, SSAs and electricians. Right now we're down to 7 because HVAC mechanics for around 150 or so facilities in Duval County. 7. And they all work out of one yard. Now, those facilities have a lot of air conditioners in them. There's a lot of AC equipment. And how do you think we're getting those fixed? Because kids ain't going hot. It's not happening. We're spending money. We're paying contractors what you and I would pay for them to come out to our houses and take care of an AC problem. Market value. I've said it a million times to you guys. We know that there's limited budgets, limited money. I understand that. But you're finding the money to pay market value for contractors to come and take care of the problems. If you find a little bit to throw over to my bargaining unit, to our people, we might not need to spend the exorbitant amount of money to have contractors come out. And it's all the way across the board. Everybody, groundskeepers, painters. It's not just your licensed trades. It's your other skilled crafts. School safety assistants. That's a big one right now. And that's because I just started representing that group. And $15 an hour. Well, I think it's $15.05 or $15.10 that they start them out at. I can't remember exactly. There's a contracting. We're contracting that out too. I believe to a security company, and the district is paying $36 an hour per person working at that security company. They're paying $36. Now, I'm not naive. I know that $15 is not all that they're getting paid. I know they get benefits. They get all the other all the overhead, we would say. But we have SSAs who are seriously considering leaving the district to go to work for the contractor because the contractor's offering $25 an hour in their pocket. That's the reality we're looking at. Our HVAC guys, we just had one retire. That's how we're down to 7. And they're all in one shop on Liberty Street, North Side Yard. We're down from about almost 30. So right now we are at a deficit of 20 AC mechanics. It's the same with electricians. We're running low on electricians. The guys we have are retiring out. as they retire out, we have to sub their work out because we're not offering enough to attract people to come and to see this as a viable career path. Right now, HVAC guys, if you've got one that's making, if you can find one that's making less than $30 an hour with minimal experience, hire him. Because I'll tell you, right now they're going up, their rates are going upwards of $35, $40 an hour. And that's to the technicians. That's to the guys who are showing up in the trucks. That's not to the company, you know, that you're calling. That's not the contractor's price. That's what these guys are making. And when we start them out at 22, what kind of quality do you think we're going to attract? This is serious. We're in a crisis. I believe that's going to be all for tonight. Hadn't seen y'all in a couple of months. Unfortunately, I had other business that I couldn't come, and Mr. DeLong had to come and speak to you guys for me. I hope he's done a good job. I watch his tapes, and he does a good job, and I appreciate him. And y'all have a good night.
Thank you, Mr. Bryant. Thank you for folks who came to address, both from our employee organizations. Now we'll move on to approval of minutes, that the Duval County School Board approved minutes listed in the agenda item. October 10th, 2022 regular board meeting, October 11th, 2022 board workshop, October 18th, 2022 agenda committee meeting, October 18th, 2022 board workshop. I'll ask for a motion.
Move approval.
Second.
Moved by Board Member Jones, second by Board Member Hershey. Any discussion? Seeing and hearing none, I'll call for your vote. Thank you. By your action, you have approved this item 7-0. Now move on to approval of consent agenda. Are there any items to be placed on the consent agenda or items for discussion?
I would like
Board Member Hershey.
to place item number 1 for consent with comment.
Item 1. And item 1 for the record is nursing services. Is that the one? Nursing services.
Correct, yes.
Okay. So we'll add nursing services, consent with comment, nursing services, temporary, consent with comment. Any other items to be added for discussion or for consent agenda? Okay. We'll go ahead and ask for a motion.
So moved. Second.
Moved by Vice Chair Coker, second by Board Member Jones. Any discussion? Seeing none, I'll call for your vote. By your action, you have approved this item 7-0. We'll move on to consent with comments, and we'll actually start with item number 1. We'll move through the agenda in its order. So item number 1 is nursing, temporary nursing services. Board Member Hershey.
Thank you. I understand the need to fill vacancies and that our failure to pass this means that students may not get services that they need this school year. However, having had conversations with previous board members who actually were on the board when the decision was made to privatize and I guess outsource some, like what we've heard from some of our bargaining units, I would just like to caution this board to be very diligent and cognizant of the regret that some former board members have for their decisions, and encourage us that as we move forward, that we continue to look at what we are paying our employees versus what we are paying another company to pay our employees, and and I would just like for us to avoid suffering that same future regret that other board members have.
Thank you. Thank you for that, Board Member Hershey. Is there anyone else who wishes to speak to that, this consent with comment? And that is nursing, the nursing item. Okay. Seeing none, we're moving on to the next item, school choice and pupil assignments, approval of the 2022 charter school improvement plans. That's also Board Member Hershey.
Yes, thank you. I know that I said a lot at our agenda review on this, but I just wanted to point out that we have 10 charter schools on this who've submitted improvement plans that have received grades of a D or an F. And I believe that it's imperative for this board and for our community to continue to hold all schools accountable for student achievement. It is not good use of taxpayer dollars, nor are we good stewards when we allow legislation not to have the same standard and same demands for charter schools to be accountable for student achievement. I wish these charter schools success with their plans. My district has about a ratio of 1-to-1 for our traditional neighborhood school to charter schools. And I do know, I've seen it in my neighborhood, in my district, that rising tides lift all boats. And it's my expectation that charter schools move students forward and improve student achievement. And I am going to continue to work very hard this year, particularly in Tallahassee, to ensure that the same accountability that our traditional schools have for student achievement applies to charter schools.
Thank you for that, Board Member Hershey. Others who would like to speak to this charter school improvement plans item? Seeing none, we'll move on to operations, facilities, project design, construction and maintenance, renovation, classroom additions, and multi-system capital renewal project at Mandarin High School. Number 260, selection of design services, professional consultant, project RFQ number 623-TW. Also, Board Member Hershey.
Thank you. Again, I just wanted to bring attention to this. We are very excited in Mandarin to see the expansion of another wing, which is going to, I believe, help support career technical education and STEM classes at Mandarin High School, as well as remove portables. I know that other board members are excited about the work that's being done in their district. And I just, again, want to thank the community for passing the half-penny sales tax, which has allowed us to continue to move our schools forward and improve our facilities. And while I have the opportunity, I would like to encourage city leaders to do what other city leaders in other states have done and come alongside of us and look at public housing in communities, as well as the need for economic revitalization in communities where we are rebuilding and revitalizing our schools.
Thank you, Board Member Hershey. Others that would like to speak to this item? Once again, I encourage folks to go onto our dashboard that's on our website that explains, it goes through every single project that we have, including this project. Once now it's approved, it'll be on there as well. And it will detail and outline all the projects that we have going on, which is a number of projects around our great school district. So thank you for that. We'll now move on to this discussion agenda, and we'll start with Chief of Staff, Public Hearing and Vote Revision to Chapter 2, Board Policy. Dr. Green, what's your recommendation?
That the Duval County School Board conduct a public hearing and adopt the recommended revisions to the following policies in School Board Manual, Chapter 2. Policy 2.26, Board Meeting Protocol and Format. Policy 2.38, Audit Advisory Committee.
Now open the public hearing. Is there anyone who wishes to speak? Seeing none, close the public hearing. Ask for a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Board Member Pearson, second by Vice Chair Coker. Is there any board members who wish to speak to this item? All right, seeing none, hearing none, we'll call for your vote. By your action, you have approved this agenda item 7-0. Now moving on, Chief of Staff, public hearing and vote revision to Chapter 3 Board Policy. Dr. Green, what's your recommendation?
That the Duval County School Board conduct a public hearing and adopt the recommended revisions to the following policy in School Board Manual, Chapter 3. Policy 3.50, Public Information and Inspection of Records.
Now open the public hearing. Is there anyone from the public who wishes to speak? Seeing none, close the public hearing. Ask for a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Board Member Pearson, second by Vice Chair Coker. Any board member wishing to speak to this item? Seeing none, I'll go ahead and call for your vote. By your action, you have approved this item 7-0. Now moving on, Chief of Staff, public hearing and vote revision to Chapter 4 Board Policy. Dr. Green, what's your recommendation?
That the Duval County School Board conduct a public hearing and adopt the recommended revisions to the following policy in School Board Manual, Chapter 4. Policy 4.10, the curriculum. Policy 4.12, exceptional student education. Policy 4.121, post-school services for exceptional students. Policy 4.13, career and technical education.
Thank you. Now open the public hearing. Is there anyone from the public who wishes to speak? Come down and state your name for the record.
Thank you, Dr. Jennifer Cowart. For the public hearing portion, I would ask a vote for yes on this item. This, again, is a clarification around the may use medically accurate props in grades 9 through 12. This seems to be an important clarification, clearly outside of middle school, and this seems to be something that is also desirable by other members of the community. We're talking about medically accurate information may be used. We're talking about anatomy, in which case demonstrations may be necessary. So I think it is, from a medical perspective, pragmatic. As a parent of a 10-year-old and a 6-year-old, this is pragmatic, and I ask the board to vote yes. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there others from the public who wish to speak? Seeing none, close the public hearing. Ask for a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Vice Chair Coker, second by Board Member Jones. Any board member wishing to speak to this item? All right, seeing and hearing none, call for your vote. By your action, you have approved this item 7-0. Moving on, public hearing and vote revision to Chapter 5 Board Policy. Dr. Green, what's your recommendation?
That the Duval County School Board conduct a public hearing and adopt the recommended revisions to the following policy in School Board Manual, Chapter 5. Policy 5.80, athletics.
Open public hearing. Is there anyone who wishes to speak to this item? Seeing none, close the public hearing. Ask for a motion.
So move.
Second.
Moved by Board Member Jones, second by Vice Chair Coker. Any board member wishing to speak to this item? Seeing, hearing none, call for your vote. By your action, you have approved this item 7-0. Now moving on, public hearing and vote revision to Chapter 9 Board Policy. Dr. Green, what's your recommendation?
That the Duval County School Board conduct a public hearing and adopt the recommended revisions to the following policy in School Board Manual, Chapter 9. Policy 9.63, school volunteers screening process.
Open the public hearing. Is there anyone who wishes to speak? Seeing, hearing none, close the public hearing. Ask for a motion.
So moved.
Moved by Board Member Pearson.
Second.
Second by Board Member Hershey. Any board member wishing to speak to this item? Seeing, hearing none, I'll call for your vote. Thank you. By your action, you have approved this item 7-0. Now moving on to board member travel. There is no board member travel on this agenda. Moving on to superintendent's travel, that the Duval County School Board approve the following superintendent travel: November 29th through December 2nd, 2022, Tampa, Florida, FSBA FADSS 77th Annual Joint Conference. I'll ask for a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Board Vice Chair Coker, second by Board Member Hershey. Any discussion? Seeing none, I'll call for your vote. Thank you. By your action, you have approved this item 7-0. Now we'll move on to for the record, and we will start with Board Member Jones. We'll end this with Board Member Anderson, and then we'll have something for her as well. So we'll start with Board Member Jones, and then we'll come back to Ms. Board Member Anderson at the very end.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just a couple of items I wanted to mention for the record. First of all, congratulations to the daring Superintendent of High Schools, Timothy Simmons, Regional Superintendent of High Schools, for his who demonstrated his daring enthusiasm for venture by flying with the Blue Angels last month. I'm envious because I would love to get that experience. So he showed our students how important it is to not be afraid to dare to do something different. So congratulations to him. Also, congratulations to Gregory Drive Elementary School and Principal Angina Sapp on being selected as School of the Month by the Community First Credit Union for the month of October. Their theme is a rainbow of possibilities, and it re-energized that entire school by showing the kids that their possibilities are endless. And third and finally, congratulations to former Raines High School football coach Freddie Stevens on having the football field named after him at the William Raines High School. Coach Stevens is the all-time winning coach at Raines High School, who coached a number of student athletes, some of whom ended up in the NFL, and one, Brian Dawkins, ended up in the NFL Hall of Fame. So congratulations to Coach Stevens for his outstanding career. Thank you.
Board Member Joyce.
Thank you. I just want, for the record, to have a point of clarification. So if I may ask a question through the chair to Dr. Green. I know you earlier mentioned that sex health curriculum, and it would be available at the middle schools for families. I'm wondering if that curriculum is going to be available at the district for any community member that perhaps would like to preview the materials.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Through the chair to Board Member Joyce. For community individuals, they can come to the district office. For the high school, they can still go on the website.
Perfect.
It's digital.
Thank you. I just wanted to clarify that. And then finally, I would just like to encourage the residents, the parents in my district that may be affected by the new Chafee Trail 6th through 8th grade school. If you have a student at White House Elementary, Chafee Trail, if you have a student at Crystal Springs Elementary, Westview K-8, this boundary change could affect where your elementary school student goes to middle school. And so if you're interested in being a part of that conversation, I would ask that you just contact your principal of your school so that you can let them know that you want to be a part of that working group for that boundary change. And that's all. Thank you so much.
Thank you. We'll actually flip it over. Board Member Hershey.
Oh, wow, that's
I know,
a
I
change
surprised
up.
you.
So some of us had the opportunity to attend the Council of Great City Schools conference a couple of weeks ago, and one of the sessions that I got to attend, well, it was my favorite one, talked about using natural resources on campus as outdoor classroom space, specifically for STEM. So I, of course, thought of the new Chafee Trail Middle School and the opportunity to perhaps, do something with that eventually to make it a outdoor learning space. I think that could be really neat. I also thought about a space that's on Loretto Elementary's campus and thought in the future that may be something exciting for the school district to look at natural resources that we have on our campuses and just to rethink how we use that space as possibilities for outdoor learning. The other thing is I had an opportunity to meet with some leadership at Bartram Springs, and that was exciting. I also had the opportunity this past month to visit River City Science Academy, and I have to tell you, they were doing science experiments at Duval Charter at Mandarin, and a student did an experiment on gum chewing while taking a test. And guess what? His study revealed that if you chew gum while taking a test, your test scores improve. So I'm just putting that out there to Dr. Green and the community and all principals. That might be a way to improve test scores. And although his principal was not jumping on that idea right away, even though he said, I've got scientific data, it did not win her over. Finally, I'd like to congratulate Mandarin High School, who beat Sandalwood and clinched the district championship and earning them a spot in the state playoff. So go Mustangs. That was my favorite day, was watching the Mustangs win that state championship a few years ago. Would love a repeat. I think Board Member Jones has had that experience as well, and I'm hoping we get there again. That's it.
Thank you, Board Member Hershey. Board Member Pearson.
So school recognition awards, these are schools that maintained an A or improved. Want to recognize Alden Road Exceptional Center, Brookview Elementary, Douglas Anderson School of the Arts, Hendricks Avenue Elementary, Julia Landon College Preparatory Leadership Development School, Samuel Wolfson School for Advanced Studies, Southside Middle School, Sandalwood High School, and River City Science Academy and River City Elementary. So really proud of these District 3 schools that were recognized by the state. I have begun my annual tour of 22 schools. And so today I was on campus at Inglewood High School and Pine Forest School of the Arts, and will be rolling through the other 22 between now and when we get out for the break. And it's always a good time to be on campus and talk with leadership and see happy children, and then bring back concerns to district staff. And I will be sending emails of stuff that I find. So I reached out to the high schools in District 3, which there are 5 of them, and got response from 4. I said I want to brag on you. I know that we've been here for a while, but I'm going to take a few minutes to put some good stuff out there of what's going on in our high schools. From Sandalwood, the Mighty Marching Saints of Sandalwood participated in the Ocala Marching Band Festival, and they presented their Sandalwood. I said Sandalwood, right? Okay. The Wicked Wizard of Oz was the theme of their program. In the marching category, they got a distinguished with best in class for 4A. In general effect, distinguished with best in class for 4A. In music, superior rating with best in class for 4A. In percussion, superior, best in class 4A. Guard, distinguished, best in class 4A. And drum major, superior. Overall, they were first place in Class 4A, second overall in the 3A, 4A, 5A category, and second overall in the Grand Champion Finals. So Sandalwood High School has a long tradition of having an outstanding band program, and if you would like to see them in their next competition, you can go to First Coast High School this weekend, and they'll be performing around 8:30 in the evening. The other thing that the principal, Dr. Hatcher, sent in from Sandalwood is a partnership. I do love partnerships with our groups and community in the community. The Northeast Florida Builders Association visited Sandalwood High School to train students in the building trades and carpentry class in carpentry skills. And they ended the day with a nail driving competition that Dr. Hatcher pointed out both the young men and young women were using their muscles and showing their skills in that competition. So that is Sandalwood. From Inglewood High School, the JROTC Raider team had an amazing showing in the Wolfson Raider competition this past weekend. In the male division, they had 1 first place, 4 second place finishes. In the mixed male, they had 1 second place finish. In the female, they had 1 first place finish and 4 second place finishes. I don't know how many other trophies were available, but when I walked into the office today for my visit, they were all lined up. So there were quite a few trophies there. They also have a new partnership and have kicked off a new partnership with Big Brothers Big Sisters and Crowley, which is one of the businesses in our area. Alden Road Exceptional Center had their first fall festival in a couple of years because of COVID restrictions on Friday, October 28th, and they had 41 volunteers in addition to the families and caregivers and stakeholders at the school. And one of the features of that was a market day where student-made items were available for purchase. And if you're not aware, Alden Road has on-campus vocational training where students, kind of cottage industries, and we have been able to sample some of their delicious cookies in the building for some of the things that we've done here, but they also make gifts. And so if you're interested in buying a gift, they shape pens, and they have a whole catalog of shapes. They do plaques. I know Dr. Green has given some of their gifts before. So if you're interested in supporting Alden Road, you can contact me, Pearson C1 at Duval, Pearson, and the number 1, Pearson C1 at duvalschools.org, and I will put you in contact with the principal there and figure out how you can place an order and make a purchase to support the students at Alden Road. And lastly, I have Samuel Wolfson School for Advanced Studies. So maybe 6-ish years ago, 6 or 7, I've lost track, Wolfson moved from a neighborhood school to a dedicated IBAP magnet school. And one of the things, one of the things that the students wanted to do was maintain a connection to the community. And so they initiated an activity, a trunk or treat, student-led, that has grown each year in the number of trucks and the number of students and the number of activities. So this past, I think, Friday night, they had their trunk or treat. More than 500 neighborhood children came for and enjoyed live music, a student band, a movie that was being projected, a bounce house, an obstacle course with the JROTC, food trucks, and candy. And so it's really fun to see all the cute kids in costumes, little kids and bigger kids, and then also see the high school students interacting with the elementary students and the community coming on campus and starting to see that this is still a community resource in the community. Lastly, I want to congratulate Charlotte Cackham. She's been named the 101XL Scholar Athlete of the Week. And Charlotte is a swimmer who has qualified for regionals in a very difficult district that includes Bowles, Episcopal, and BK. And if you know about some of those schools and their reputation for swimming, a public school student qualifying in that division is a big deal. And also, she's a National Merit Scholars semifinalist and the student body president of the school. And I will save my other comment till the end.
Thank you, Board Member Pearson. Vice Chair Coker.
So just a couple of quick items. I do want to once again congratulate Arlington Elementary, Ms. Finley, Arlington Heights, Ms. Scott, and Woodland Acres, Mr. Platts, for the Reed Jack Schools recognition earlier. We continue to ask our principals in our schools to hit new bars and new items, and these schools continue to do it, and those are 3 exceptional principals to work with. That being said, we celebrated Dr. Green and her being a finalist for Council of Great City Schools Superintendent of the Year, and those of us that were at that banquet were incredibly proud to be a part of that moment with her and her husband, who we adore. Again, congratulations on that. But I also want to make sure we congratulate Dr. Krisner, Ms. Renfro, and Mr. Wright as they had presentations at this national convening. And I will tell you that the information that was shared by Duval was a hot topic. I will tell you, standing room only in a couple of their presentations in particular. Literally, there was a moment I didn't think Dr. Green was going to get a seat in one of them. So I just wanted to congratulate you all for being present on a national stage with schools of like districts to Duval County. It was great work, and I will say for the board members that were with you, it was a privilege to be a part of it, so thank you. That being said, and a reminder that y'all do great work, and thank you for the work that you do. I also, the other morning, Dr. Green actually got a bunch of these emails as well. I woke up to a very excited Arlington community because finally we broke ground on the Performing Arts Center at Fort Caroline Middle School. I know I continue to talk about this project. I know y'all are tired of hearing me talk about this project, but I got to tell you, the school advisory council over there, the faculty, I ended up on multiple emails. And so just thank you to Dr. Green for continuing to see that this was something that needed to happen. Again, it was an issue that started way before you got here. And to Mr. Soares for his continued leadership in all of these facilities upgrades. I will tell you, the community of Arlington, not just the children in Arlington, but the community of Arlington is so excited about this project. I have lots of pictures of dirt and concrete and big heaps and piles now in my email, so thank you for those. That being said, finally, as we spend lots of money on certain contracts, I am trying very hard to go in schools and just listen to teachers and students and principals about how these products are working for them to move the needle with students. In particular, last month, we approved the Read USA contract, or another contract with them. I took the time to go visit Arlington Elementary and actually witness the program in action today. I will tell you that I was bowled over by what I saw, inspired by what I saw. Walked into a classroom where I saw multiple high school students working with children. We'll say, Ms. Hershey, you'll be happy to know that children from Mandarin High School are over at Arlington doing work with our second graders. I talked to a phenomenal young student from Mandarin who actually was correcting a student and whatnot in a way that some of our best teachers do. I watched another student whose child was out of the room at the time for a testing piece, but they were going through their next lesson plan on their iPad and preparing themselves for when the child returns. I want to thank Rob Kelly, Ellen Weiss for letting me come and walk through that. I want to thank the teachers and program coordinators over there. I will also say, Ms. Renfro, thank you to you. They said they have you on auto dial routinely to make sure the alignment is continually there. And I want to challenge all of the board members to please take the time to go walk and visit with Read USA to see the work. The second grader that I had a long conversation with the child from Mandarin, was very clear to me that she liked reading during her Read USA time more so than during her class time because she had someone individually there helping her. And she said it makes me confident, and that's a really cool thing. So thank you again for that. And again, to board members, if you haven't gone and watched and witnessed it, go do that. Other than that, I will pass it to the board chair.
Thank you. And I will throw it over to Board Member Anderson to wrap us up.
Thank you, Chairman Willie. I want to start by saying thank you to you. Thank you for your chairmanship this year. I am sorry that I won't, be able to be here and recognize you in the future. And so tonight on your last meeting, you have done a phenomenal job. You have led with such heart and understanding and patience, and you've really taken this board through a journey this year and passing this referendum, and I'm really grateful for your leadership and for your friendship. I will share a quote from Madeleine L'Engle, who wrote, she's an American author, she wrote A Wrinkle in Time, and she says that maybe you have to know the darkness before you can appreciate the light. So tonight on my last board meeting, I want to take a minute to just reflect that I ran for this seat because I just care about kids. I told myself not to do this. I was just a community mental health counselor, and I remember going to my boss. We're like in a supervisor meeting, and she's like, "Oh, how's it going? Any announcements from this week?" I'm like, "I think I want to run for school board." And as I floated that out to folks, friends and people that I trusted, the feedback consistently was like, "Yeah, you should do that." And so I let it sit with me for a while, and I really just wanted to talk a lot about mental health. And I think you will all agree that I've talked a lot about mental health. And just to make sure that it was a conversation that was elevated in our community, that it was elevated among our schools, and I appreciate the opportunity to do that. I want to say thank you to the almost 30,000 people in 2018 that trusted me to serve. I have actual tissues too, but there's no actual tears coming out. I'm holding it in. I know that especially at that time, there was a lot of fear. There was a lot of talk about safety. This was right after Marjorie Stoneman Douglas, and I think that there's still a lot of fear that exists, and so I appreciate the opportunity to have served. I wish that we could have gotten more done, but I think you all know me, that like I always want more and more and more. I'm sure Dr. Green knows that. But I'm really, really proud of the work that we've done, and I do believe that I was here during a time when I was supposed to be here. This has been a strange 4 years. I think everyone on the board and all of the district staff know that. But I'm really proud of this work. The gray hair might fool you, but I'm not even 40 yet, so I've learned so much personally and professionally from this opportunity. And I've seen some real ugliness, unfortunately. Bear with me. I had a hard time this weekend with some of the hate speech that we saw in our community, because to me it's a symptom of this like bigger problem where we continue to be divisive and ugly and to erode our community. And I wanted to come up here tonight and to say, like, let's all just get along and let's move forward, and everything will be fine. And I just don't know that I can say that. And so my message to folks is to stay engaged, be engaged. If you haven't gotten engaged, know what's happening. I believe that there are children, that there are families, that our school system needs us to keep calling out hate, needs us to keep calling out systemic oppression, to keep calling out the gaslighting, the passing off of phrases and whole beliefs as truth that just aren't. So please just keep speaking out. If not you, then who? That was something that really motivated me during my first campaign in 2018. I thought, well, why not? Why not me? And so if you aren't sure what you have to lend to the conversation, trust that you do, because if not you, then who else? You know, if you believe strongly or you want something, please show up and be engaged. It doesn't, I think it matters to our kids. They are watching us. They are watching how we speak to each other. They are watching the way that we decide to fight for them or not fight for them. So I think we need to talk to them about what's important, but it's also important to show them how to stand up for themselves and how to stand up for each other and what we believe in. I want to say a couple of thank yous. Thank you to District 2. There was a bit of a drought, I think, in attention for District 2 schools. And when I came in, I remember principals and teachers kind of saying, man, a board member hasn't been here in years. Like they weren't really sure what to do with me. And they've just been all so warm and welcoming. And it's been such an honor and a privilege to engage with every school community and to listen, as Board Member Coker mentioned, to really trying to hear, what are your needs? And so stay open, District 2, but thank you so much. I definitely want to say thank you to the staff people. There are so many people that aren't here tonight, but especially to the folks that are here tonight, and I get to look at your faces. Take another water. The community doesn't understand the passion that you all have. And I really appreciate it. Can't say more about that. My board member colleagues, thank you for bearing with me tonight. But in all the moments I was overbearing, I'm gonna pull it together. I care very deeply. And I get carried away. So thank you. My family.
Thank you, Board Member Anderson. And I'm gonna just push us right into, we prepared something that's probably gonna make it worse. But it'll give you some time. So I'll have, I think Matt's up there, he's gonna queue it up for us. And then what we'll do after that is, of course, you can, the stage is still yours, but then we can also hear from other board members if they want to say a few words, so. Here we go. Can we, of course, we have some flowers and a card from the board. Can we have a round of applause for Board Member Anderson? And if any board members want to say some quick words, we'll have the floor open for that. Board Member Jones.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Liz, I think we all appreciate your love, your passion, the value you place on our students each and every day, no matter what they have in their backpacks. And you taught us so much about caring, social emotional learning, your passion. It was time. You came here at a time that you were really needed, at a time when our school district needed your guidance, your leadership, your support, and you made life better for every student in this district for the last 4 years. From the time we passed the half penny to improve the facilities that our students learn in, and our teachers work in every day, to improving the income that our teachers and employees so desperately need. So I just want to thank you. You will always be the Honorable Elizabeth Anderson. You will always be the Honorable Elizabeth Anderson, the former school board chairperson. So wherever you go, you'll hear that. And I just want to thank you and continue blessings to you and your family. And many are called, but few are chosen, and you were chosen. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for bringing tears to all of our eyes this evening. Appreciate that. I remember when Board Member Anderson was first on the school board, and the night she was sworn in, and I was cheering. We were going around doing like for the record at the end, and I called her Chairman Anderson when she was on the board for like 5 seconds. So I saw that coming, and so I think that. Again, it's just sometimes for a time such as this, and you served as chair during a very rough time and maneuvered that. I appreciate your commitment to education and to children, and you certainly hammered home mental health to all of us, and I know that will continue to be a big part of your life. But I will end with some words of wisdom that Congresswoman Tilly Fowler told me before she was Congresswoman years ago when I was, before I got married. And I had shared with her that I had an interest in public office one day. And she looked at me and she said, "Lori, your chance for public office will always be there, but your chance to raise a family will not. Do what I did and raise my family first." So I know you started this when your son was young, and I hope you will take this time to enjoy raising your family before you venture out again. But I wish you all the best.
Board Member Pearson, you're good. You're good.
Crying with hiccups. Well, I feel like it's been more than 2 years. We've covered a lot of ground. I wanted to say that I appreciate you as a colleague and also as a friend. And I have learned a lot from you in your area of expertise that has informed my opinions as a board member, but also my actions as a mom of teenagers, and so appreciate your willingness to give me free mental health advice and drives back from Tampa. And I do have your number, but I have picked up that quotes are important to you. And I was somewhere and saw a quote, and I've been saving this for about 2.5 months for tonight. Oh gosh, I hope it's a good one after building it up that way. But it's by Edmund Burke, and it says, Nobody made a greater mistake than he or she who did nothing because he or she could only do a little. And I think that you are capable of doing way more than a little. But as we know that our lives have seasons, in this season, it may be mom heavy and civic engagement light, but I would encourage you to do what it is that you can do and trust that that is building in a way that there is a greater work prepared for you, and continue to move forward in that, in the way that makes sense for you and the way that makes sense for your family now.
Thank you, Board Member Pearson. Work our way this way. Vice Chair Coker.
So I will say, when we first met, I was actually still sitting over there. I was an assistant soup. I had not retired and run for school board. And I remember sitting in 613 with you and thinking, oh my gosh, she is a force. Literally, the questions you were a total data nerd. And the questions you asked, it was clear that you were not here just to do a little bit of work. You were here to do great work. And I will say you have done that. People who work with me know that my faith says that as educators, and you're an educator, you are a mental health counselor, but you have also been a teacher in our school district, that we are put in the right place at the right time to do the right work with the right children. And you were meant to be in this moment, in this time, to do the work that you have done the last few years. And it's true, some board members come and they do a little bit of work. You came and you did great work. My family, I say this all the time, my family's been here 5 generations and have great pride in this city, but you will forever be the board chair that renamed schools. That's a legacy that will go down in Jacksonville history. That being said, as I see you leave, and I hate to see this, but as I see you leave, please know that our district is a better place for children as a result of the presence that you have had on this board. And I have no idea what comes next for you, but I am sure it will include greatness, because that's all you know to do.
Others? Everybody's good? I mean, I'll say this. I mean, there's one of the quotes, because you love quotes, and it's like, you'll never receive what you don't expect. And I feel like every time you came into a space, you like raised the expectations. It was like, we're gonna have high expectations every time we sit in this space for ourselves, for our staff, for the kids, and I appreciate that. Because there are conversations that you don't even realize today that I left better and learned from because of you. And I'll just say that we'll always be in touch and in contact, but one of the things I always admired about you is, as a parent, Cooper's proud of you. So proud, because you stood up. Like, and I think about that with my kids too, and I remember Cooper and Kobe sitting over there, and I'm like, man. And it's just like that moment. It's like, man, I hope we're making them proud, and I know you have. I know that you stood up for what you believe was right, and what is right, and the ripples and wrinkles, as you said, the wrinkle in time that you are leaving are going to be felt for years and years and generations to come. So it is awesome work that you have done, and I just appreciate you as a person, as a human, as a friend, and thank you for all you've done. Yes, please. You get to end it now.
All right, I'm gonna hold it together. I just want to make sure that the community understands that this, I just can't breathe, but this board works as a body, and we shouldn't all be the same. We shouldn't all have the same value system. We should bring different perspectives. And so I definitely want to welcome Board Member-elect Carney to this seat, who's here tonight. Thank you for being here. And just know that although we do not see things the same, I'm sure that she'll bring her own set of perspectives and a viewpoint and a value system that represents a majority of the constituency of District 2 that voted. And so I know that this won't be an easy transition. for a lot of people. For some, it will be. But I want to create that space for you and welcome you to this seat tonight. Before I'm done, I also want to make sure that I say thank you to Dr. Green, who I couldn't get to when I was talking about staff. But I'll just say thank you. I meet with you on Monday. I'll tell you more. And then the last quote I have on my on my screen here is from Mahatma Gandhi, and he says, "In the midst of darkness, light persists."
I love that. So I have some good news. Real quick though, I do also have a nice piece of hardware for your mantle or your kitchen table or Cooper's Playroom. Elizabeth Anderson, District 2, Duval County School Board, and appreciation of your service, 2018 to 22. So thank you, Board Member Anderson, for all of your service. Like we mentioned, the works that you have done will live on. Good news, we're going to adjourn this meeting, but we do have another short meeting. So it's not your last meeting. You have one more.
One more.
So I'll go ahead and ask. We're going to go ahead and I'll ask for a motion to adjourn. Moved by Board Member Pearson, second by Board Member Jones. All those in favor just signal by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, I can't see for the flowers. The ayes have it. Meeting is adjourned. And I will we're going to give some time to move to this next meeting really quickly. Take about 1 minute.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I just thought it was really funny because I always think nobody's listening. Run.
Okay.
I've seen it, the beginnings, but when I was out there. I was really at the middle school, but they're right around the corner from the middle.
Because it's kind of a long walk. We have time to like walk around for a second. Yeah,
I was told by
Were you going to leave this meeting?
So if everyone.
We now join our regularly scheduled program already in progress.
Doing what you do has allowed us to hire these individuals to become part of our work family. We're honored to have them and look forward to having more in the future.
Our ninth award today goes to Rise and Nyes. We have anyone here? Okay, we have a video. So this coffee shop, bakery, and ice cream parlor is located in Sarasota and is committed to hiring lots of people with unique abilities. Rise and Nyes has 40 employees, with 35 having significant disabilities. Wow, that's impressive. This business was opened in 2020 by longtime advocate Beaver Shriver, who's related by marriage to the founder of the Special Olympics, Eunice Kennedy Shriver, and his business partner. Rise and Nyes employees with unique abilities make coffee and baked goods, run the cash register, serve ice cream, clean up, train new employees, and whatever else is needed. There are plans to start a food truck allowing more people with disabilities to have a job and earn a paycheck. Rise and Nice has shared with us a video that we'll watch now.
Hello, my name is Manning Reed. I started working at Rise and Nice on Monday, December 28th, 2020. Rise and Nice has been there since Monday, December 28th, 2020, which was 3 days after Christmas. I am so happy that Rise and Nice gave me the big opportunity to work there because I've learned lots of different things, such as writing on cups, making waffle cones, wiping down tables, and learning new skills. I am so happy that Rise and Nice gave me this wonderful opportunity to work there. And Rise and Nice has the best coffee and ice cream and beignets there. Rise and Nice has the best coffee, ice cream there. I think everyone should come and plan on visiting Rise and Nice and get a coffee there whenever they want. And I love working at Rise and Nice. Thank you for listening. Hello, my
Well, I have to just brag a little bit. Night before last, I went to the gala, I guess, for Special Olympics. And first,
We accepted speaker cards for this meeting until 8 p.m. In an effort to mitigate against the spread of COVID-19, we have placed hand sanitizer and disinfectant wipes at the podium. We ask that each speaker wipe down the podium before you address the board. According to the CDC's website, Duval County's COVID-19 community level is currently designated as low. The CDC currently recommends indoor mask wearing for people with COVID-19 symptoms or exposure to someone with COVID. Thank you for taking the time to join us and for your interest in the operation of the Duval County School Board Leasing Corporation. Moving on to the approval of the November 1st agenda, that the Duval County School Board Leasing Corporation approved the November 1st, 2022 agenda as submitted on October 28, 2022. Ask for a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Vice Chair Coker, seconded by Board Member Jones. Are there any comments? Seeing, hearing none, I'll call for your vote. Thank you. By your action, you have approved this 7-0. Moving on to public comments. We do not have public comments, so we'll skip right on forward to discussion agenda. Certificates of participation, COPS resolution. Dr. Green, what's your recommendation?
That the Duval School Board Leasing Corporation approve the resolution and substantially final draft documents relating to the certificates of participation. School Board of Duval County, Florida Master Lease Program. Series 2022A, COPS, to finance the lease, purchase, or new construction, additions, renovations, remodeling, modernization, and deferred maintenance contained within Phase 1 of the Duval County of the Duval County Public Schools Master Facilities Plan, MFP, payable from the 1/2 cent sales surtax receipts.
Thank you. I'll ask for a motion.
Move approval.
Second.
Moved by Board Member Jones, second by Board Member Hershey. Are there any further comments? Seeing, hearing none, I'll call for your vote. By your action, you have approved this item 7-0. Now moving on to adjournment. I'll ask for a motion.
So moved.
Moved by Board Member Pearson, second by Vice Chair Coker. All those in favor signal by saying aye.
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 All opposed? Ayes have it. Meeting is adjourned. Thank you.
just wants to talk to you.